All right, guess who's back? It's the Will and Russ Sports Podcast once again. What's this, episode 5 now?
Yeah, episode 5. I'm your man, Will, aka Will Stradamus, checking in.
And you all know who I am. I'm Russ Stradamus, aka the Prophet.
Yeah, you kill me every time with that one.
The
The prophet. All right.
Prophet.
Yeah. So look, Russ, what we doing today, man?
So we're gonna tackle the NBA free agency aftermath
Yeah,
and
definitely.
the draft and all of that. So we'll talk about that. We'll discuss the question that you asked as we ended the last episode about LeBron, what I thought about LeBron James. So we'll
Yes,
discuss some of that.
yes.
Um, then we will get into our little debate about who America's team is. You're representing the Patriots. I'm representing America's team, the Cowboys. So,
Okay.
and then after that, I think we should discuss. We should talk about what's going on with Antonio Brown a little bit. Mention that since
Yeah,
that's in
yeah.
the
We've got to touch on that because
yeah
during some of our football talks last week, he was mentioned, by both of us.
yeah we talked about him.
And I think he's kind of basically he's kind of making us look like Nostradamuses. I mean, you know,
I I mean I am the prophet. So
well, I mean, yeah, I'm just about the prophet myself. So, um, so so we're gonna go ahead, yeah, and touch on that, before we get off tonight. Well, now as far as the NBA, man, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the
conference.
Eastern Conference or whatever, however they call it in the NBA. I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference in the
Okay.
NBA.
Okay.
Um, there are a lot of moves in that conference, man. I mean, obviously Kawhi Leonard, he's gone. Uh,
Yes.
you know,
Going back to the
he's
West.
gone back to the West. KD comes over to the East and the
Not
Brooklyn
but
Nets.
not for this year.
Yeah, now for this year, he'll be out for the year. But Kyrie Irving, he joins them in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Russ, I've always wondered about this, man. And this is my personal feeling on this whole NBA. I call it the friendship league. You know what I mean?
the
That's what
the
I
but
call it.
the buddy league.
Yeah, yeah. Buddy friendship league. I mean, this is unbelievable. I don't know how you feel about this, Russ, man, but all this, hey, man, let's go play together and try to win the championship. And I mean, come on, man. What happened to real competition? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Katie and Kyrie teams up in Brooklyn. They're gonna make
Right.
them, worlds better.
Right.
And then it just, I don't know, man. Your thoughts on it, man? I don't
I
get it. It's
mean, my
very
thoughts
annoying.
are. I'm definitely with you on that. It's different than when, we were coming up in the competition level that we saw. And I don't get me wrong, these guys are just as talented.
Yes,
It's not like saying that the other guys, the older players, I should say, from other eras, are necessarily more athletic or better
right,
than these guys. But what I'll say this is mentally, those guys were light
I,
years.
hmm?
I mean, better in that category, mentally strong. These
Yes,
guys are a little bit more. They have a different. It's a different time. It's a different generation, and they have a different approach to things in life. Which also, when you're a professional athlete today, it also has affected that, because um, it was a different mentality. Those guys wanted to beat each other.
right,
I mean, we'll take Michael Jordan. Just Michael Jordan, a young Michael Jordan coming into the league, and his goal was to, beat the Boston Celtics and Larry Bird,
yeah,
beat
yeah,
Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons,
yeah,
and eventually get to be able to face, Magic and the Lakers.
right,
So and it took him a while. Like he took beat downs.
Yeah, he
I
did.
mean, Bird and the Celtics owned Jordan and the Bulls. I
Yes,
mean,
he
they
did. Exactly.
owned them. People always talk about the Pistons and all of that. And yes, there was a huge rivalry there. With Isaiah Thomas being from Chicago and Jordan
Right.
playing in Chicago, that
Right.
was a huge rivalry and everything and how physically they played against Jordan. When they came up with the Jordan rules. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's only him, so
Right.
we just pound him. But the thing
Right.
about Jordan though was that as he took that pounding, he kept coming. It never stopped him.
Never
He
stop.
just kept coming. And he never, in that time, it was just unknown for him at the end of the season or any other player to say, all right, I tried beating him. I think I'm going to get traded to the Pistons. Or, you
Right.
know what? Maybe I'll just get traded to, because there was a certain level of pride in these
Pride.
guys
Yeah. Exactly.
that made them feel like, okay, you got me this year, but I'm gonna get in the
We'll
weight
come back.
room. You see, that made
Right.
Jordan get in
Hit
the
the weight
weight
room.
room,
Yeah.
get
I'm
stronger,
get in the
get
weight room,
better.
get stronger, faster, and come
Yes,
back harder at you next
and
year.
also made him a better leader.
Exactly.
Because those guys like Bird and Magic and Isaiah Thomas were great leaders of their teams.
Yeah.
They
Fantastic.
they demanded a certain level of play
Yeah.
from their teammates, and their teammates accommodated, and that's what you saw from the Bulls in the '90s.
Right.
Jordan demanded if he had to punch you in the face in practice, Steve Kerr, you know, whatever
Exactly.
it took.
Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue. I mean, he learned that in the '80s, taking those beatings from teams more experienced, smarter teams.
Yep. Not necessarily, not even more talented, just smarter and
No,
more experienced
smarter.
and
They
tougher.
tougher.
You know.
Yes, these guys were tough, and I mean, and it's a difference. And it's not saying, I know people probably like, oh, you guys are dumping on these young. No, no, no. It's just facts. It's just calling it as you see it. It's obvious that they don't play on that level. Even in football, it's not the same as back in the days. Those guys were clotheslining each other. I mean,
Right.
it was slamming. You could slam the quarterback. Now you can barely sneeze on the quarterback. So
Yeah.
it's a different time. It's a different time, and
It is.
because of that, I think it's affected the mentality approach to the game.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's
It really
like,
has.
and one big thing that I think is major today is social media,
Oh.
because
Yeah.
social media have these guys um with anxiety almost, like they're so self-conscious,
Self conscious and sensitive. Just
sensitive, exactly, very much so.
God
so
no.
so they can't take losing.
No.
They can't grin and bear it. I watch Jordan every year grin and bear it and handle himself like a professional, losing every year to the
Yep.
to the Pistons and the Celtics, not
Pistons.
being able to conquer them,
Right.
not being able to beat them, but kept coming back every year and was
Right.
able to finally get to the point. I mean, of course, those guys were a lot older. They were, but he didn't give up, is what I'm saying, and he didn't say if
Yeah.
he did. There was no um mentality of if I can't beat them, join them
I
type
know.
thing.
Right. And
And to
that's exactly
yeah,
what's happening nowadays.
and because like you said, there it's a little bit of a softer mentality. That's what makes these guys like say, well, you know what, I'm not getting this bad press. They're not going to talk bad about me on ESPN and
Right.
on social media and make memes about me. So
Right.
I'm going to make sure I get my numbers. And we're in the analytical stage too, which is another disgrace for sports. But
Yeah.
because these guys now have the mentality of, I'm just, hey, as long as I got my numbers, I'm gonna look good on Sports Center, because all they're gonna say is, I scored 36 points. I
Correct.
scored this many points. You
Correct.
see? And
Exactly.
I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying this is what it is. This is what we're dealing with. And that's a lesser version of the game. It's a weaker version of the game.
Right. Well,
So
you know what? You know what? I hear you, and you say you're not mad at them, but you know what? I'm mad at them. I'm I'm mad at them. You know why? Because I mean, all those guys, they call themselves basketball historian. Oh, when you talk to guys like KD, all the
yeah,
great ones, KD, LeBron, Kyrie, you know, got some of the players from the word. Oh yeah, I studied the game. I know the history of the game, and and you know, I
And they do.
my idols were this person, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, you
Right.
know, Pippen, Jordan. You know, always they say that, but they turn around and team up like some spoiled. I don't know, Russ. It's really frustrating for me, man, because the NBA at one point became so watered down. I think it's making a little bit of a comeback now because there are more stars in different types of divisions and teams and stuff. But
You mean from after this free agency?
yeah, 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 exactly. There are, you know, a little bit more of I guess divvying up the stars. You know what I'm saying, on different teams. You know, you got
It
guys.
seems like that, I say, but
Yeah, it
I don't think
seems
it is though.
right.
I st-
I
I
hear
st-
you. I mean, neither. There's a part
I
of me.
still think there's a few top heavy
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, yeah. There's a part of me that feels that way as a little bit as well because, I mean, you know, when Kawhi, see, that's why I respect Kawhi Leonard so much after this run he had with the you know, the Toronto Raptors because the I mean, frankly, Kawhi Leonard was you know, he didn't have any superstars with him. You know what I mean? He
Right.
didn't have any you know, any Hall of Fame type guys on his team, but he willed that team to the championship and won it.
Yeah. But
So
yeah,
I give
but look, Kawhi is a throwback type of player.
he's exactly
He could have played in that old school era.
exactly. Kawhi definitely could have played in that old school era, no question about it. None, no question about it at all. Now, I say that to say that could we know KD is uber talented, right? Do you
Yes.
think KD? Do you think KD, being how he is, just his physical stature and his ability and his talent, do you think he could have played back in those days, '80s and '90s?
I think talent wise, absolutely.
Hmm.
But the beating he would have taken.
That's Russ. Real quick, that's exactly what
Yeah.
I was trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not only physically, but mentally.
mentally. Right, right.
We talk. See, people don't realize how much sports is a mental thing.
Really is, man.
When we look at the guys who are the best, it's a mental thing. They're stronger mentally. Tom Brady is stronger mentally
Right.
than these other guys. He's on another level. His
Yep.
approach to the game of football is on another level. You know
Correct.
what I mean? That's why he's at where he is because mentally he's like two steps ahead of these guys
Right.
than his competitors. He's two
Yep.
steps ahead. He's got them psyched out before they even get out of the locker room.
Yep.
You know, it's a different type of thing when you're talking about the mental game that the legends of this game played. You
Right.
know, and I'm not just talking about back in the '80s. I mean, I can you can go back to the '60s with Bill Russell and those guys and Wilt
Yep.
Chamberlain and those guys had a mental, you know, a mental edge. I mean, Jerry West, the NBA logo, still cannot go to Boston Garden. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
how long has it been
Right.
since he played in the
Right.
'60s, early '70s? You know what I mean? It's like, and this guy still because they crushed him. They lost so many times to them. It's such a huge rivalry to him. He can't even enter the building.
Right.
You know
It's
what I mean?
crazy.
That's a different mentality than hey, you know what, Chief? I think I'm gonna come join you on your team. You know what I mean? That's a different mentality
Yeah.
that a lot of
Absolutely.
these people don't realize, and analytics can't add up. You know, there's
Right.
no analytics for that. There's no stat for that.
There isn't. There isn't. And you know, and it all comes down to, are you competitive enough? You know,
Yes,
what's your
yes,
competition level?
right.
What's the fire that where's that fire that burns in you about being a competitor? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you know, and you go, let's go up and down with these teams in the West and the East, man. You got, you know, like I said, you got the Clippers. Now, I like the fact that, you know, the Clippers were already good. They were a pretty good team,
Yes, yes.
and Kawhi went to those guys, and I don't know how they're saying that Kawhi scouted Paul George, you know, before he went to the Clippers. I mean, for whatever it was worth, I'm not gonna criticize Kawhi for that because he's been there, been to the mountaintop and conquered it. You
Right.
know,
Right.
So it's not like he was begging to play with Paul George. Oh my God, I got to play with Paul George. I got to play with Paul. It was one of those things like, I mean,
And exactly. And you know what? When it's different. Like
mm,
it's not like he left the team. It's not like the Clippers beat him last year and
right,
he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go join them. Or
right,
it's not like the Raptors made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost, and then decided, you know what, I'm just gonna leave because I don't think this team's good. We're not gonna win, so I'm gonna
right.
go make a. This guy won the chip.
Yep, sure did.
He can go wherever he wants. He just proved
Ever.
himself. You
He
see what I
just,
mean? Yeah,
thank you. He proved himself.
yeah. He
Proved,
won.
period.
He won. It's not like he's leaving off of a loss.
Right.
So he put he like bet on himself and won.
And won. And
And
won.
now he's got the A side, as they say in boxing. He's the A side of the card, so he can make the decisions. And he decided, I'm going here.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna go play with Paul George.
Exactly. And you know what? In that Western Conference, that just makes it so much more tougher. I mean,
Right,
you know, Anthony Davis is in LA with LeBron,
right.
and that's a formidable, and whether we like it or not, Russ, that's a formidable.
I
uh
think that is the most formidable team,
yeah, yeah,
even more than the Clippers.
yeah. I mean, but you got LA, both LA teams,
Yes,
Portland. I mean, it's so deep, Russ. You
Portland.
got,
Yes,
what I'm saying, Houston. Even
yes.
though I
The
have my
Spurs
reservation,
too.
right? Oh yeah, absolutely, the Spurs. I
I
do
always
have my
have my
reservation.
reservations on the Rockets as well.
Yeah, you, and I think we both can agree on what's the name? The Beard.
Yeah,
Yeah. How do you feel about that guy, by the way, man?
I mean, I think he's an amazing offensive player, and I just think he's mentally weak. I mean, he's
Oh,
one of the he's a good example of what we were just talking about.
yeah,
Because I remember I've seen it years and years. I remember when Kawhi was still with the Spurs. In fact, it was the year that he got injured going against the Warriors. You
right,
know, um, and they played the Rockets before they got to the Warriors. And I remember he had Harden so shook, and it wasn't even only him. It was like they were D'ing Harden up so strongly
right.
that he was coming across half court and just jacking threes from the top of the key because he could not. And it's like, Harden, you can penetrate. It's not like you don't have the skills to do it, but
Right.
it's mental.
Mental with him.
He was beaten mentally, just like we talked about. There's that you brought it up to me. I mean, not on the show, but you brought it up behind the scenes when about LeBron being on the foul line years and years ago
Oh
when
yeah.
he was and they're playing against the Spurs and
Oh
Kawhi
yeah.
had locked him down in the first period and went to the bench, and then LeBron started getting off, and he's at the foul line, and he sees he looks back and sees Kawhi checking in, and he exclaims on his face like, "Oh no!" And here he comes in.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's that type of mental weakness that is what I'm talking about, and that's
Right.
the problem with Harden. It's not his skills; he's got all the skills. Russell
Right.
Westbrook is another one, got
Yeah.
all the skills,
Got all
but
the
he's too
skills, but
emotional,
he's too way. Oh my God, is he?
way too
Jesus Christ.
emotional, and and,
Way
and
emotional.
you see how I mean Lillard just dismantled him.
Complete.
Dismantled him, and he dismantled him with no emotion. I mean, he
Yeah.
mental.
Exactly.
You see that's a prime example right there. Lillard mentally was superior to this guy.
Yeah, he was.
You know, he
Yeah.
let him talk his trash, and he had his moment, but he was like, I'm gonna light you up,"
Yep.
and did it. You know,
Did.
didn't have to
Yep.
scream it on the top of the rooftops. He just did it.
It was amazing too.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
wow.
yeah. So I mean, those type of players is why I say those guys. No, they don't match up with the guys that came before our time or the guys we grew up watching either.
Right.
So because you know Iverson and Kobe, those guys and Shaq when they came in. I mean, Shaq was trying to dismantle Patrick Ewing
Right.
and David Robinson and
Elijah.
Elijah and you see what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like he had, not saying he was doing it, he did to
Yeah.
some,
That was
but
his mentality.
that was his mentality.
Yep.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. My job is to take these guys out.
Completely. Yep.
You know what I mean? When
Yep.
Magic and Bird came into the league, it was the same thing.
Exactly.
They
Now,
wanted to
go
take Dr. J out.
out. Right. Right. Now, real quick, Russ, going back to Shaq. I mean, Shaq
Yeah.
got his, rude awakening when he went up against Hakeem Olajuwon,
Yes, he
because
did.
Hakeem schooled that boy.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
I mean,
And he learned. And he
Akeem was
learned from
schooling
it.
everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. He learned from it though.
Yes, he
He learned
did.
how to play better. You
Yes,
know,
and he
with
took it well too. He took it
exactly,
just like how I said Jordan took it when he was
exactly.
getting beat. You see what I mean? He took it
Yep.
like, oh, okay, there's another level to this.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Absolutely.
go there. Not like, oh man, what am I going to do? Olajuwon did this. I don't want to play against him no more. Maybe I should get on the same team with him.
Right.
No.
Right.
He Shaq's like, okay, I got to get my game better. You know,
Exactly.
Iverson and Kobe came in the league. Kobe came in. His target was Jordan.
Yep.
Iverson, he came in. He's like, I got all the respect for Jordan. I was a fan of him growing up. But when we get on this court, I'm gonna cross you up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the mentality.
That's the mentality. That's right.
When we on this court, we're not. You're not my idol anymore.
You're not
You're
my
my
idol. You're not my
yeah,
friend. You
yeah.
know.
You're the opposition,
Yep.
and I'm gonna try to take you out because I know you're gonna try to take me out.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So I
Hmm.
mean that's the mentality that is missing. Um, I mean, Kobe said it. Kobe said it. He was like, these guys don't even talk no more. This was at it when LeBron and them were the young ones coming in, and Kobe was still he was a veteran. He was still in the league, you know. And
Yep.
and I mean, they weren't winning. The Lakers weren't winning like they were before because he didn't have any help. The NBA refused to give him any help. You
Yeah.
know, they vetoed the trade with Chris Paul and everything. But that's a whole nother thing that the NBA does to control the scenarios. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, when Kobe, I remember him saying that like these guys don't even talk like LeBron. They don't talk trash. They don't. We're not gonna hear those stories like we can go on YouTube now and see stories or listen to stories of stuff Bird said or Jordan said or what
Right.
this person did. You're not gonna what Barkley did. You're not gonna get those stories from these guys.
Now these guys, they don't talk trash to each other.
Yeah,
They talk about what they're gonna do after the game.
right,
What club they're gonna go to or restaurant. You
right,
know what I mean? That's
right,
what they talk about. You know, they talk about that during the game.
right.
So it's just you
Different
know
mentality, different time.
different. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, with that said, um, what are your thoughts on as far as who's coming out of the East and who's coming out of the West? As far as who's the more dominant team? Who's got some stars on there that's not that's not going to be dominant? And for the record, just what team that's been assembled, and I'm using air quotes here, what team that has been assembled that you think is the most dominant team in the league?
I mean, I think the Lakers.
Like, okay,
And the reason why I say that is because matchup.
matchups, right,
That's going to be a problem for the Clippers going up against the Lakers. Who do they have to match up with Anthony Davis?
right. That's true.
You know,
That's,
I mean, you can. I understand you can throw Kawhi at LeBron.
mhm,
You could throw even Paul George at Kuzma.
right,
But
right,
who are you throwing at Anthony Davis?
right. That's the elephant in the room on that one. You're right.
Yes. And I think people are sleeping on how much even more improved this kid Kuzma is going to be.
He is
You know,
definitely. Yeah,
and LeBron's going to be running point.
that's true. That's what
That's
that,
Le,
that's
that that that's
that's right.
LeBron at his best.
Yeah,
That's
that's right. He's
that,
distributing.
yeah. LeBron can pass. I mean, he
Yeah,
he he can distribute,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
and
man.
now he can distribute to these young kids and Anthony Davis. I just think that line of Matt Styles make fights. I think
Yeah,
the matchup is it's a tough matchup. It's a
right.
really tough matchup. because you
That's
have to adjust on defense because now you got this big guy like LeBron. This is like Magic again playing point guard, you know,
right.
and you got to put who you going to put on him. You can't put
I
the
tell
little
you,
point guard on him.
I tell you what though. I tell you what though. Here's how. All right, let's say okay. I see what you're saying with that, but
Yeah,
I would counter it with this. Just as you just stated that who's going to match up with with Anthony Davis and
right.
LeBron and Kuzma. You gave some examples of who would match up with LeBron and Kuzma. Now, the other person on that team that is an unsung, it is not talked about much
Hmm.
is Lou Williams. Lou Williams is a baller.
Yes, Lou Williams is a baller.
Who's going to match up with him? See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like, does the Lakers have people to match up defensively against their offensive weapons, as with Kawhi and Paul George and Lou Williams? Because we know Paul
Okay,
George.
but I can reverse that and say, who is Lou Williams covering?
Well, Lou Williams is their. I guess he's their X factor. He's the guy. He's their six man.
I know. I think he should
You know what
start,
I mean?
but
You think? I mean, yeah, he could very well
I
start,
think
but
he
I don't
should
know.
start, but I don't think he will. But I think he
Right,
should.
right. That's what I mean. So I think, man, I think that matchup will be a very, very intriguing matchup. Coming up, in the regular season and moving forward
Yes.
into playoffs because it's very interesting. You got a bunch of stars on each team, and also remember now you got a guy that I call him the modern day Dennis Rodman, Patrick Beverly.
Okay. I mean,
Patrick Beverly is is not only he's to me he's an excellent defender,
yes.
but even more than that, Russ, you know what Patrick Beverly is one of those guys. He doesn't give
Just
a damn who
he's
you
just
are.
annoying. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. He will do whatever he can to get you off your game. Whatever he
Right.
can. And you know what? Most of the time he's successful.
Oh yeah, he is because you're dealing with a lot of weak-minded players. So it's easy for,
Exactly.
Patrick Beverly wouldn't get in the heads of those guys back in the days because they would have lit him up.
They lit his act.
They would
Exactly.
have, you know what I mean? They would have lit him up.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So
They'd
so
be like,
but I
"Oh,
mean,
Patrick Beverly woke Jordan up tonight for
yeah,
40.
exactly.
Iverson just hit 50 because Patrick Beverly was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what would have happened.
And but see in today's NBA world, it's oh man, Patrick Beverly was all up in LeBron's head. You
Right,
know what I mean? Or
right,
it was all
right,
up in AD's head, or
right.
Kyrie Irving couldn't do nothing.
Yeah,
Why?
how you,
Because Patrick
yeah.
Beverly. You know what I mean?
How do you let how do you KD let Patrick Beverly
Right.
throw you off your game even for one game? Even for
Right.
one game.
Yes.
Man,
That's
Larry
ridiculous.
Bird would have sent Beverly to the bench in like 5 minutes.
Exactly. With
If that. Within 5 minutes he would have been on
within
the bench.
exactly, and he would have had like five fouls.
Right.
Maybe even a technical foul. You know what I mean? It's
And a couple tears out of his eyes.
yeah.
Because Bird would have been talking to him at the same time.
Right.
Remember Chuck Person
I do. The
and
rifleman.
Larry Bird?
Yes.
You
Go.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
yeah, man. You want to talk about competition? Oh my goodness! Those guys are
It-
going back
yeah.
and Chuck Person wasn't as nearly as talented as Bird, but he was a competitor. Russ.
Yes, he was a
He was.
major competitor. It's like a John Starks Jordan thing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like John Starks is not better than Jordan on that level, but for the level of competition,
Right.
he was competing with Jordan. I mean, he was going tit for tat
Tit for
with
tat.
Jordan. You know? So I
Yep.
mean, it's different, man. It's just different. Different mentality of these guys. It's a different time, different era.
Yeah. Sure is, man. So I mean, all right. Well, so what do you think about Golden State? Because losing Clay for a majority of the season next year coming up.
Yeah,
Uh,
they'll make the playoffs by default.
you think so?
Yeah, by default.
Yeah. I mean, but will they be? I mean, I tend to think that there will be a dangerous team in the playoffs when they make the playoffs, because they've still got Steph, they still got Draymond, and now they've added D'Angelo Russell, to sort of,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, to sort of ease. or mitigate the trials and tribulations of not having Clay for a majority of the season. You know
Let
what
me
I
ask
mean?
you something. What is D'Angelo like in postseason play?
Well, being that he's only been in postseason play one time, I would say it's an incomplete. I wouldn't say he's
Exactly. Very good. That's my
right.
point. And I mean, so to me, replay and I like Russell. Russell is a young up and coming player. You know,
Right.
D'Angelo's he's definitely stepped up um, in the recent years and really um, filling in what everybody expected from him when he came out of college.
Yeah.
But we don't know
We
what
don't know.
what impact he's going to have
Yeah, we
on
don't
that
really
team.
truly know. You're right.
Right. In the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs is a different beast. And Clay, we know what Clay is.
Right. Right.
And that's not a replacement for Clay.
Right.
You know.
That's
Regular
true.
season, yeah, but not postseason.
Right. That's exactly right.
Clay
I,
has that
I agree.
mentality to take it to another level
Yeah.
in big games. Like he has that mentality, where
You are so right about that, man.
he takes it to another level when he has to, and I've been telling people for years the leader of that team is Draymond Green.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah, he's the mental, he's
Unquestionably,
the thing that holds it together.
yeah. He's unquestionably the leader of that team.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah,
You know? And Russ, I'm willing to go out on the limb and say if Draymond Green wasn't on the Warriors would not have 3 NBA titles.
they
I'm sorry.
wouldn't, they wouldn't because there were
Might have
times where when Curry and those guys were struggling, he's the one that got in their head and got them going. People don't see that stuff. It's like when Draymond speaks, they listen.
listen.
It
That's
was
right.
only this past season when Crybaby, well, I don't want to say that, when KD, and the fans were and the media all made it seem like it was Draymond, and I'm like, Draymond, that's his team.
That's
That's
right.
not KD's team. I don't care what y'all analytical people say. That's Draymond's team, not KD. And
Draymond.
obviously, it wasn't because Draymond is still there and KD is gone. He was
Yep.
just visiting.
He was just visiting. And and Russ, here's the thing with that. It just to me, it just makes him look so like so it makes him look cheap. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Speaking of KD, you know what I mean? I like
Yeah,
KD,
I like him
but
too.
God, dog it, man. Come on. First of all, you were up 3-1 in the finals a few years back with
Yeah.
your boy Russell Westbrook
Right.
against the Warriors. You choked that one away and
Right.
lost. Then you turn around and you join them right after that, and then you win a couple of them. You get the glory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hoorah! This is we're champion. Da 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 da.
Yeah, but
Then
how hard is it? I mean, go ahead. I mean, how hard is it to win a championship with the Warriors?
well,
That team.
exactly. That's what I mean, and that's what I'm saying. So that's why I made it seem like it, it's not. I'm not impressed, man. I'm not. I'm not
Right.
impressed with KD. I'm impressed with KD's talents. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I'm not impressed with KD as a leader or a tough competitor. I'm not
Right.
impressed by it, man. Because if you were truly a tough competitor, you would still be in Golden State, probably winning a championship with your boy Russell.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so that's how I look at that one. I used to like KD, man, but when he did that, I thought that was the softest, just the most, just I can't even find a word for that thing, Russ.
Right.
It's like treason, you know.
Treason.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like it's like Judas, you know.
Yes.
It's like,
But it's normal for today, and that's the crazy
right,
thing.
right, and it's sad. It really is because the guy is ultra talented, man. You know what I mean? Just yeah, Now I don't know, but okay. Well, staying on KD for a second. Now, okay, he's in the Eastern Conference now, with his
Yes.
boy Kyrie.
Right.
Now, when Kyrie leaves ball, now as far as Kyrie, remember when he left, um, he was
Cleveland,
yeah, when
or
he was
you mean
complaining
Boston?
and moaning and yeah, he's complaining about, oh, I'm not the leader in Cleveland. I want to be the guy and this and that. He goes to Boston, farts on himself, So doesn't succeed over there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Comes to then he decides to come to Brooklyn. What are your thoughts on Kyrie? Basically bitching and complaining that he wants to leave Cleveland because he's not the guy there. Goes to Boston, flames out in there. In my opinion, I mean, he had some moments, but he wasn't not even close to what he
I mean,
should.
yeah.
And then going to Brooklyn.
I say this about Kyrie. Kyrie is a great player. I definitely have a lot of respect for his skill level,
Mhm.
and he has a killer instinct too.
He does. He does. I've
He
seen that.
has a killer instinct.
He
But
does.
I will say this. I didn't really blame him for leaving Cleveland
Okay. I
because once again, he left after winning it all.
That's true.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He won and basically made the biggest bucket to win the championship.
That's true.
The
Okay.
most clutchest shot you could make to win it in the clutch moment. That's why I said he has that killer instinct and wasn't getting the credit.
Right.
All the credit was going to LeBron.
Right.
And I think with his competitive nature at that time, okay, now I got my chip. I'm gonna go and prove that I should be the guy, that I am the guy, and that's what he went to Boston to do. Now, this is where the problem came in. Kyrie went there and felt, okay, I just gotta ball out, put up. I'm gonna put now. I got the green light to put up all numbers, but it's like he forgot you're a point guard.
Exactly.
And Kyrie went back into Cleveland mode before LeBron came back.
Yep.
Where it's just me and I can gun as much as I want.
Yep.
Win or lose, whatever. All I gotta do is put up, and it's like, no, you're the leader. You're the point guard. You got to
Right.
make all those guys around you better.
Right. Right.
You got
Right.
to make those guys around you better, and that's what um, was not there last year in Boston. You know,
Yep.
they didn't want to follow him as a leader because he doesn't know how to lead.
That's right.
You know, he's a great player though, and
Great
that's the
player.
sad part. If he could have just, and it's not saying he can't put it together because he has that competitive edge. Maybe he'll figure it out. He's won a championship. Maybe he'll figure it out. And realize, okay, is I can lessen some of my stats as long as these other guys can fill in where those are the things that guys like Bill Russell understood about winning.
Yeah. Yep.
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan even.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mike
Yep.
played at North Carolina. He played for Dean Smith. He knew what it was to win as a team,
Exactly.
to play as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like those are the things you have to do. Kobe, it took him a long time,
It did. It really
but
did.
he finally did it and realized and accepted it. And it
Yeah.
made him such an even greater player.
It really
That
did. Yeah.
when he realized that, like I don't have to do it all. I got to make these guys better around me,
Yeah. Get people
and
involved.
yeah, get them more involved. You can't just have guys standing around watching
Right.
you know.
Right.
So that's what I saw with Kyrie in Boston last year, and he's gonna have to do better in Brooklyn. But it's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna be Kyrie and
I mean,
that team. He's gonna
yeah,
carry that team. It's gonna be like Cleveland again
it's going to
before
be
LeBron.
exact.
Yeah, like before LeBron got there.
Exactly. It's going to be just like Cleveland before
Yeah.
LeBron got there. It's not going to be a very successful season for Brooklyn.
No.
I, I have no doubt in my mind that Brooklyn is going to take a step back. Now, of course, that's, you know,
They'll still
because,
make the playoffs though.
yeah. You think they'll still make the playoffs?
Yeah, they'll be a low seed. It's just not
Really?
enough. Yeah, because who else is gonna make it? You know what I mean? I just think they have a chance to maybe get the eighth or seventh seed.
How
You
about the
know,
Wizards?
nah, it won't be the Wizards. You see what I mean? It's like teams like that it's not gonna happen.
Oh man, speaking of the Wizards, man, what do you think about these guys, man? Because
I mean,
John Wall,
what
he's
is
not
there to
playing.
think?
What was that?
I said, what is there to think? You know what I mean? It's just talk about
Nothing.
the talk about debacle. I mean,
Yeah. Oh man, unbelievable. The Washington Wizards. They're put it this
is
way.
is John Wall playing this year?
I heard he's not. I heard there's a strong chance that he won't be playing this coming season again. So I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
that's pretty tough. You missed basically all of last season. Then he's gonna miss this whole season again. That's put it this way. Bradley Beal is not playing with the Wizards after this year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have him doing. I don't have him sticking around. Honestly, he might get traded to somebody else during trade the trade deadline or something like that. Because he's not sticking around. I don't think
I
he's
mean, they
not
don't
sticking.
have any talent on the team. It's like
Don't they
without
don't.
Wall there, you got Beal, and Beal is a adequate shooting guard. He's a good shooting guard,
Right.
but he's not the guy that's going to
He's
put
not
the
a max.
team on his shoulders and
He's not a
and
max player.
no, no.
He's not. Sorry, he's just not.
Very good player though, but
Yeah.
no.
And see that's the thing with the Wizards. They went ahead. I can't believe this, Russ. A couple of years ago, they signed Otto Porter to a max deal. I was like, wait a minute, what? Otto Porter to a
He's not,
max deal?
and now he's gone.
Now he's gone. Right. Yes, that's the Wizards got their priorities and it just at this point they're just a piss poor organization, man. You
They're
know,
the Redskins of the NBA.
bingo. And it's ironic. And it's ironic. It's ironic that they're both in the city of Washington. you know,
Ironic, but not surprising.
right? Ironic, but not surprising. That's a good way to put it too, Russ. I mean, God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
If I were to pick a team that I will say that could contend or scare anybody out of the East if they made it to the finals would be probably the Milwaukee Bucks. How do you feel about those guys? As far as having Giannis, I even heard his brother now get signed with
Yeah, yeah, they signed his brother
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Um I think the Bucks are definitely one of the top teams in the East, if not the top. I don't know if they're going to be the top this year, but
yeah,
they'll be top 3. They're definitely top 3 in the East in
yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
So I would go 1A Philly, 1B Milwaukee. That's how I
Uh,
would go.
and that's where I'm at with it. I think Philly's the best team in the East this year, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Sixers fan either, but I think that they are the best team in the East this year, and the Bucks will definitely be there as well because they got Greek Freak and the kid's dominant. But um, he took a little hit going up against the Raptors and Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi,
That's true.
yeah, they
That
they they brought it to him, and then the Sixers also have they picked up what's his name from the Celtics? Oh God, is
what's the guy's name? Was it
Horford, right?
yeah, Horford? Yeah,
Al Horford, yeah,
yeah, that was a
yeah.
nice pickup. It
And
was.
he gives Greek Freak the fits,
Yeah,
so that's a huge pickup. And then now that's a matchup problem for them because you
yeah,
still got to deal with Embiid.
yeah. That's
You know,
facts. Right.
yeah,
Uh,
so that's a matchup problem for them there. I think the Celtics would be the other team with those two teams.
right.
You know, that's a huge pickup that they got for at point guard with and I'm happy for him. Just playing all those years with Charlotte, and
Right.
now he gets to go to the Celtics, and I think he's a better leader. I think
Right.
um, you know who I'm talking about. Can't think of his name
On
now.
six,
Huh?
Sixers.
No, no, no. For he's on the Celtics now. He played for the Hornets for years. Um, oh
Oh,
my goodness, I got his face in my head and everything. I can't even
Timber
think of
Walk.
his name. Kimba Walker. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's a good pick.
I've thought Kimba Walker was underrated for years, you know, and so now taking him there, I think it'll be a breath of fresh air for that team who
Yeah,
is loaded with talent. People forget, you
yeah.
know, they're loaded with talent,
Hmm.
and now you get Kimba Walker there, and I think Kimba Walker is going to have
Yeah,
a huge year, because now he's going to be he has the spotlight, you know.
right.
It's him. He's playing in Boston,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
and I still don't rule out uh Lakers Boston Lakers Celtics finals. I don't, but
Well,
that's
I'm
for another show.
I'm ruling it out. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know,
It's no. I
but
mean,
we'll see.
you Russ, you got Philly, you got Milwaukee, okay. Then you even got Miami. Miami. I'm not saying they're gonna be in the finals, but
They can't mess with the Celtics.
well,
It's gonna have to be the Sixers or the Bucks to take the Celtics out.
that's what I'm saying. Even if what I'm saying, even if something horrific happened, like a major injury on one of those two teams, the Bucks or the Celtics, I still don't see the Boston Celtics, you know, going to the finals at all. I don't. I just think, you know, if Kemba Walker's their best player, which is a good choice.
Well,
He's a good.
I wouldn't say he's their best player.
Okay.
I
Who would?
wouldn't say he's their best player. I think Jason Tatum and those guys, they've got plenty of talent on that team
No, they
to
do.
go around.
But
And I just
Kemba,
think that Kemba is gonna help being point guard is gonna help bring out
yeah, yeah.
those guys. Those guys will be able to shine more with Kemba Walker than they did with Kyrie. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, and we'll see. I mean, Jason Tatum is a beast. You
Yeah,
know,
he's a very talented player, but
yeah.
sometimes he doesn't, fully maximize his potential.
Last year he didn't, and I think it was because of nobody was happy on that team. You know,
Right.
they weren't a team. You know, everybody. You know, him and Kyrie were in through it all through the year. You know,
Right.
it just same thing with Terry Rozier. You know, it just wasn't a good look. It was always something. Those
Yeah.
guys were at each other's throats all the time, and it was never a good situation for winning. And because of that, a talented team as the Celtics, you know, underachieved ridiculously.
Right.
You know,
That's
last year they should have been a much better team than what they were with the
yeah.
talent that they have. And they're deep too. They've got a bench. They got guys coming off the bench that could start. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they do have a lot of depth. However, I just don't think. I think it's too much of an insurmountable task for them to get through Milwaukee and Philly. I think I just think that's too much. You know what I mean? That's just
I don't
too much.
know. Remember, Philly has to get through Boston because we've struggled against Boston.
That's true, but
You know,
you
this
know,
might be the year where they do it, and maybe it won't be the Lakers Celtics this year. It could be the Sixers. I mean, I'm jumping all the way to predictions now, but it could be the Sixers Clippers this year, and then Lakers Celtics the next year.
right?
But we'll
Right.
see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Back to the Western Conference real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a note on this this team, couple of teams actually, but the first one I'm start off with is the Denver Nuggets.
How did I know you were gonna say the Nuggets? Wow. I was thinking that. Maybe it's because I'm the prophet.
Oh man, yeah, no, wait, oh, how was you thinking? So so you knew what I was gonna say before I even said it.
It's prophetic, baby. It's prophetic.
Well, that prophetic, whatever it is, propheticness is pathetic because this because there's no way that you knew I was gonna say that.
No, I
But
knew you were gonna say the Nuggets. I really did. I knew
okay,
you were gonna say the Nuggets.
all right,
That's the
all right,
team. I was like, he's gonna say the Nuggets.
all right, okay. Well, yeah, okay, fine. Mr. Prophet, you, you correctly predicted I guess my thought process on that one.
Right.
Um, now the Nuggets, man, that's a sleeper team. I think they got a lot of talent on that team. They got
Yeah.
what's his name? Yurkic.
Yes.
Uh, he's a star, man. You know what I
Yes, he
mean?
is. Yes, he
Uh,
is.
they have got a deep team as well. So a lot of people aren't talking about the Nuggets, but that's a team to watch out for. Also, the Utah Jazz
The
is
Jazz.
another
Yeah.
that can can make their way up the ranks. They just acquired Mike Conley.
Right.
They got Donovan Mitchell. They got some good pieces. To their starting five is really really good and really competitive. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
but see, that's what I'm saying, Russ. The Western Conference is so deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, when you go from top to bottom, it's a bunch of good teams in that conference. Now the
Right.
Eastern Conference is, you know, I would say about maybe 4 or 5 really legit teams. You know,
I would
and
say three
3,
out of the
yeah,
East
yeah. I mean, Boston, Milwaukee,
and the
and Philly.
Sixers. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
yeah, pretty much. hmm Yeah, I
There's a
mean,
drop off to me after that.
yeah, it really is. It's a pretty big drop off. So you know, yeah,
I want to see what the Pacers do though. When Oladipo gets back this year.
that's true.
So
Yeah, that's a good one too. The Pacers to me are they're going to be competitive, definitely. They're going to win some games. I got to make. They'll probably be in the middle of the pack in that Eastern Conference, maybe 4 or 5. You
right.
know,
I
so
got him at
yeah,
4. I would see them at 4. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, man. So, I mean, the NBA, it's a star-driven league.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, the same teams that's been dominating for the last I don't know how many, let's say 10 years, will be the same team back there. LeBron and his team's gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi.
Yeah.
We already pretty much know most. Well, I guess except for the Western Conference, we don't know. We can't just put a cut and dry stamp on it and say, okay, this team's going. This we can say that, but there is competition in that conference. There's a
Right.
lot of competition due to talent and of course uh buddies hanging out and wanting to be with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Playing with.
Right.
So there goes that. And but yeah, I would say we pretty much know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, man. So but look, switching gears real quick, folks. We're gonna go. Look, I tell you what, where do you want to go? You want to go do the LeBron thing first, or
Yeah. We're still in the NBA. Let's
okay?
let's end it with LeBron. And you asked me what I thought about LeBron James.
Yeah.
So um, I think LeBron James is um, a top 5 small forward. Is one of the is a top 5 small forward of all time.
Okay.
I think he's a great player. I also feel that because of the era that he played in with all these analytics and like I said, that pressure, the
Right.
pressure that they get from social media and all that, it changed his game and it made him more of a shooter, a scorer,
Yeah.
focusing more on stats and numbers. When LeBron was really he was more of a magic kind of player.
Yeah. He was
Um,
more facilitator.
a
You know.
facilitator and he was a leader though because he
Yeah.
could
He
make
was.
he could lead the team and make a team better. That's he got he could get the best out of his players at least when he played as a facilitator.
Yeah.
But once the pressure of the media saying that he was afraid to take the shot and he couldn't shoot and all of these things I think got to him and
Right.
then they started the unfair comparison to Kobe and then to Jordan
Right.
and then he felt like okay I got to go out and show that I can put up numbers
Right.
because that's what matters today in this analytical system, it's a bunch of nerds. For to be perfectly honestly with you, this whole analytical era, it's just nerds that aren't real sports fans. That because they can crunch numbers, they feel they know sports all of a sudden,
Exactly.
and it's really just the eye test. It's there's nothing beats the eye test.
Nothing.
Nothing
Nothing.
beats the eye test. Real sports fans can just watch it and know. You know what I mean? You can just
Yeah.
watch it and know. So that's one thing. But back to LeBron. LeBron, like I said, he's a top five small forward of all time. I'll give him that. Now,
Well,
top five player of all time? Absolutely not.
right. That's where
Absolutely not.
that's where I was going. I
I'm
would. I,
sorry, you guys out there. I know you guys love LeBron, but I like LeBron too. But I'm just realistic. I'm not biased or bought biting or drinking the Kool Aid of sports media today
right.
with their analytics and always comparing him to Jordan and all
Right.
this other nonsense. You know, they're not the same player. Let LeBron be LeBron.
Right.
To me, it's disrespect. If you think it's disrespectful, if anybody out there thinks it's disrespectful for me to say that he's a top, not even saying he's the top small forward of all time, he isn't. He's a top.
Right.
He's a top five though. I got him in my top five of all time small forwards,
Right.
but he's not the top. And if you think that's disrespectful, I think it's disrespectful for you to think it's disrespectful
Right.
when with all of the great players
Right.
that have played this game, for you to just jump him, you know over all of them and put him up there with Michael Jordan.
Right.
you
And
know
see that's where I draw the line.
yeah,
When you start putting up in there with Michael Jordan and Bird and
but
Magic
but they're not even putting him up there with Magic and Bird. They jump over those guys.
all of them and puts them at number one or number two to
Yeah,
Jordan.
and it's like, are you serious?
Insane. I mean, listen, Russ. I've seen LeBron literally, and this is more than once, well, more than, 2 or 3 times. I've seen LeBron literally quit on his
Me
team
too.
during
Me too. Me too.
literally.
Me too.
I've
Me
never
too.
seen that with Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird,
Bird,
uh,
no.
John, hell, not even Clyde Drexler. You know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah,
I've
taking
seen
a
LeBron.
taking a defeated taking a defeated position. Yes.
Yes, that is insane to me, Russ.
Yeah.
Do you remember the series when he played against? I believe it was Orlando, when Dwight Howard was still with Orlando.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was Eastern Conference Finals, I believe.
Right.
And the guy just literally stopped playing.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
wait a minute, where's LeBron?
Like he
Russ,
was
LeBron
pouting.
was on, yeah, LeBron was on the floor playing, but I couldn't see him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, wait a minute, where's LeBron at?
Yeah.
Oh, he's right there. Oh, he's on the team. I couldn't believe it.
And
And then he
yeah.
turns around and did the Celtics. Remember that
Yeah.
against the Celtics?
Yep.
So I've never seen Jordan do that. Jordan has been beaten, battered,
Right.
cursed at, fought against all this, and Jordan has never quit on this team. LeBron has
No.
done it multiple times.
That's why I said he would always keep coming, and that's what I can't take that. And I grew up not being a Michael Jordan fan.
Right, and
You
I'm
know what I
with
mean? I
you.
rooted
Same here.
against Jordan every time.
Right.
But I'm not a hater. I'm also a sports fan, and I know greatness when I see it. You know what
Same,
I mean?
same.
Doesn't mean I had to cheer for him. It's just like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. I'm a
Right.
Cowboys fan, so I didn't root for Joe Montana and Jerry Rice in their careers, but I know who the greatest are. You know,
Exactly.
you know, I know great players when I see them. I'm not a Patriots fan either, but
Yep.
I'm also not a Patriots hater like a lot of people today,
Right.
because I respect success
Success and
and and,
dominance.
and dominance. Yeah,
Yep.
and I give Brady and Belichick their credit. I give Brady his credit always. I respect what he does. He reminds me of a Joe Montana. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
he's the
Yep.
Joe Montana of this era. You
Yes.
know,
Exactly. Exactly.
which was his idol too.
Right. Right.
Growing
That's
up,
true.
yeah,
Fact.
he was a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean LeBron, great player, but they give him this whole thing of the GOAT and all this. He's not the GOAT. He's not the greatest player of all time. No.
No, he's not. He's
but
not.
he is a top five small forward, and I do it by positions for a reason, for a
Okay,
position by a
well,
reason.
I
Yeah,
tell you what, I'm just curious. Who are your top four, or who's your top five power forward, small forwards?
Small forwards. You
Yeah,
want me to go in order from one to five?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Number one, the hick from French Lick,
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh,
Larry Bird.
Larry, Larry Legend.
Larry Legend. Number two, I got Elgin Baylor.
Okay,
Number
nice one.
three,
That's a good one.
yeah, Elgin Baylor. I mean, without Elgin Baylor, there's no Michael Jordan, there's no Dr. J,
Right,
there's no LeBron James.
right, right.
Those Elgin Baylor was doing things in the '60s. Like what's disgust me. With speaking of Elgin Baylor, disrespectful
Hmm.
when they call it the Euro step.
Yeah,
It should be called the Afro step
the
because
Afro step. Right.
Elgin Baylor is the one that brought that to the game.
Yep.
He was doing that in the '60s.
It's talking about the Euro. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
the Euro step. Where do you get that from? You
right.
know. So, but
I
yeah,
like how you called the Afro step. I like
yeah,
that one. That
yeah.
was pretty.
Not the Euro step, but So Elgin Baylor, I got him at two. I got Dr. J at three.
Okay, good one.
Do I need to even explain Dr. J at three?
Not,
No.
not to me, but yeah, but for our listening audience, please do.
I mean, Dr. J, the impact this guy had. I mean, amazing, just amazing. We talk about leaders. This guy saved the NBA. You know what
Right.
I mean? He saved the NBA. The NBA was a sinking. It was a sinking empire.
Yeah.
It
I
wasn't even
mean,
an empire. At that
exactly.
time, it was sinking. It was losing ratings. They didn't even have a television deal.
No, they didn't. I mean, NBA title games were on tape delay. You
Yeah,
know, it was already like the game was already over, and then they would put it
right.
on TV just for you to watch it, even though the results were already done. So
Dr. J
yeah,
coming
absolutely,
from the ABA to the NBA saved.
it
He
saved the NBA.
it
It
saved
did.
the NBA, and the guy's game was ridiculous. I mean, talk about offense.
Yeah, no,
I mean, come on. And the guy played defense too.
it.
Just an all around amazing player.
And
I
he
mean,
and he
all
also
around.
played. He also played above the rim too.
I mean, way above the
Yeah,
rim.
he could get up with the best of them.
Yeah,
Michael
you know.
Jordan.
Yes,
That was Michael Jordan's idol.
that
Doc-
exactly. And Dr. J's idol was Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
mean that says a lot. And then you got the Iversons and Kobe's that looked up to Jordan, and on and
Right,
on. And
right,
LeBron looked up to AI and Jordan and those guys. So it's and Magic too. So I mean, it goes on and on like that. So you gotta give credit to those guys for what they did in their era. You
right.
know, People don't realize that Elgin Baylor saved the Lakers
He sure did.
as a rookie. He saved the Lakers. They were a failing franchise,
But like, yeah, you're right.
almost debunked. Almost like bankrupt. And
Hmm.
he put butts in the stands
But yeah,
when
he
he
put
came
butt
in,
seats
because it was
and
amazing to watch him play in those days.
right, right.
So but Dr. J at three. Um, Now my next two is gonna surprise some people, but Kawhi Leonard is number
Ooh,
four.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got Kawhi at four,
Wow.
and and then I got LeBron at five.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, that's all right. Well, honestly, first of all, I can't argue with you too much on the Kawhi stuff. The only thing I can say that to go against that maybe, and I really don't want to go against it, I would say Kawhi. He's playing in this era, and he's still a little bit. He's still young. So he's still got more.
and
Uh,
he solidified it for me already. And let me say this. I think LeBron, on the point you're making, it is a very good point too. That he still has a lot more to do,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I mean, if he adds to what he's already done, I mean, it only solidifies why I put him in my top five.
yeah.
But I can't put LeBron in my top five if I don't put Kawhi.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because I mean, LeBron's at the end of his career. He's shown me everything, and that's why I can put him in my top five.
Mm.
But through the years, when everybody was saying LeBron was the king and the best player in the NBA, I always, me personally, always said Kawhi Leonard was the best player.
Right.
I would argue with people that Kawhi was the best player. This is like years ago.
Right.
After he did what he did with the Spurs, and the fact that the reason why I always would say is I said he's the only guy I see in the NBA that's doing it on both ends of the court at the highest level.
Highest level. Correct.
You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Yeah.
At the highest level. He might not get all the accolades. He's not a big talker. He might not get all the limelight and all that. But this guy, to me, is the best player in the league, and now he's proven it. You know, he's proven it now, where now everybody sees it.
Right.
Now a lot of people see it now, like, oh man, Kawhi, he's the king now. He's the guy now. Yeah, but I thought that years ago that he was the best player in the league because he
Right.
doesn't quit.
He
I've
doesn't.
never seen Kawhi quit.
That
And I
never
know
did.
people. I know people would say, "Well, he was injured that year and he didn't play," but that was different. That wasn't. He never quit on the court. You know.
Right.
Yeah, he
Right.
never quit on the court. There was some grievances there, and he didn't feel he was 100% and didn't want to play for those guys anymore.
Right.
You
That's what I'm
know.
saying. You
Yeah.
had a
That's
reason to. You was hurt.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He was hurt.
You-
So, but never on the court have you seen the guy quit. So how can I, for all these years, say Kawhi was better,
Right.
was the best player, and then I put LeBron in my top five, and he's not in there. And I think he is a top five small forward of all time. I do, and trust me, man, it's tough because you got your Rick Barrys, you
Yeah.
got but I think Kawhi is a better player. I think Kawhi and LeBron are better players than Rick Barry. Maybe not offensively. Rick Barry was top heavy. I mean, offensively untouchable.
Right.
Rick Barry, but I think those guys are better defenders than Rick Barry.
Yeah. I tend to agree with that.
You know what I mean? So that's why I wouldn't put Rick Barry. I don't have him in my top five any longer.
Right.
Um, because of that. But Rick Barry is a legend to me anyway. So that's just how I rank my small forwards.
Right.
And then you got the Dominiques. I mean, there's so many other great players. It doesn't mean that there's no other great players. That's just my top five.
I got you.
Yeah, and it's close. It's not like it's very close.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, your thoughts on it. I already have my thought, my reservations about LeBron James. I
Yeah,
respect the guy tremendously. I respect him as a person. Actually has an excellent businessman IQ.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I like he's a positive person,
Yes.
positive role model for young, young kids, man. I love what he does off the field. I mean,
Yeah.
off the court. I mean,
Right.
I love what he does off the court. He's great on the court, but not
Yeah.
every time, you
Right.
know. So, but yeah, I give LeBron credit. I'm not putting him top five.
Yeah.
Might not even be putting him in top 10 of all time. You know what I mean?
No, no,
So,
he's not in my top 10 of all time.
right, exactly. Mine either. Mine either. So, you
I
know,
truly, and I know people will probably, they're going to be boycotting this show because I would tell you LeBron is just outside of my top 20 of all time.
right, right.
He falls between 20 and 30 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah,
But you
right. They
see,
might start boycotting the show because most of the people nowadays, oh,
but to
LeBron this, LeBron that.
yeah, but to me it's not disrespectful because like I said, if you feel like it's disrespectful, then you're disrespect for one player. You're disrespecting all of these other guys.
Right, right.
You see what I mean?
Uh,
Do you
we get it.
realize the great players that have played? There's been a lot,
Yeah, oh man, a lot. You trying
and
what?
but the problem is these guys rated about championships, and
Right,
there's a mistake when you start talking about GOAT. You're talking about an individual player when you
right,
say that. Now the championships are out the window because for one thing, championships are won by teams,
right,
not by individuals.
right.
Michael
That's
Jordan
exactly right.
couldn't win a championship by himself.
No, he couldn't have.
Bill
No, he
Russell
could
couldn't
not.
win no championship by himself. Wilt Chamberlain couldn't win a championship by himself.
Right. That's
Kobe,
true. Yeah,
Shaq,
Kobe. all of them, Shaq, Kobe, all of them.
Name a player that won a championship by themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Like
can't.
Hakeem, all of them. Yeah,
So it's not the championships that make the guy to go. Like Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan was a great player before he ever won a championship.
he was absolutely.
If you watched him play,
Yeah,
his before he even entered the NBA, he played against Bird and them for the Olympics. Um, and played against they would bring that's when only the college kids would go play for the
yeah.
Olympics.
I
And
remember that.
Jordan, it was Jordan, I think Patrick Ewing, all of those guys were on, and these guys were going to be legends one day, but
Right.
they were all one team, and they blasted Bird and a few of the NBA players, because they would play the NBA. They get a group of guys from the NBA to come and play them. Isaiah Thomas, Bird, and
Right.
and the college kids beat them every time. I think except for once or something like that. And Jordan was on that leading that team. And after the game, Larry Bird said, "This guy's already the best player already."
Wow.
Think about that. So that goes back to the eye test. He wasn't looking at stats. He saw what this kid just did on the court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And said, "Hey, this guy's the real deal." So it's not about the championships. Everybody wants to count. Well, Kobe got this many rings and Jordan got six. Yeah, Jordan got six because he. I mean, but if he hadn't gotten six, it wouldn't take nothing away from Michael Jordan. I watched the
No.
guy play his dominance.
Dominant. Complete.
Yeah,
Complete. That's
yeah, and he had the
so.
best team. He was able to play on the best team. But Dominique was a great player too.
Sure was.
Didn't win any rings because he didn't play on the best team.
He didn't play in the best team, and he also played in an era that had so many other good teams and
Great
great players.
teams, great
In
teams.
it.
Yeah,
So
Charles
yeah,
Barkley. People
same then.
forget how
Yep.
great Charles Barkley as a player
Right.
was. My
Right.
goodness,
Exactly.
are they serious? Like Charles Barkley was a monster.
Yeah. Sick athlete for a guy
Yeah,
6'5", 275 pounds, mostly fat. He
right.
was a sick athlete. You know
Yes,
what
he
I'm saying?
was, man.
You
The
know. So
round mound, the round mound of
compound.
rebound. I mean, come on,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
Six
Exactly.
five down there banging with 6'9" and 6'10" guys, seven
Right.
footers. Come
Right.
on, man.
And dominating. I
And
mean,
dominating. Yeah,
Barkley led the league in rebounds a few different
exactly. Exactly, man. One of the greatest power forwards of all time,
all time. Period. Yep. That's right.
you know. So I mean, that's who
That's your thoughts on LeBron James and your feelings.
yeah, that's how I feel about it. And it's to me, it's no disrespect. I think it's great for you to be in that group that I just listed. You should be. That's
On
great. It's not a
yeah.
knock. I know a lot of people might see it as a knock, but it's not. It's not. I respect LeBron, but I've seen better players. Period.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't care how many finals he went to in a week in Eastern Conference. I mean, I don't care about that. I look at his game and I think his game is great. Like I said, I respect him. He's earned my respect through the years. He's hit some big shots. He stepped up in different games, but it's forced. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's forced, and it's like there's question marks there where people still ask, talk about the fact that, well, he's not gonna, in pressure moments, sometimes he shies away from it. Nobody would ever say that about Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Nobody. Allen Iverson. When you ever
Right.
see Allen Iverson shy away from the ball? Kobe Bryant. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you can't say you won't say that about those guys. Nobody says that.
Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah, those guys aren't scared to touch. They want the ball in that
They
situation.
want the ball.
Yeah.
They
So
want.
whether it's true or not, I'm just saying it's a question mark on LeBron and on the guys that you're skipping. People jump and put him above. That's not even an issue with them. Like that's not nobody says those things about them. So no, LeBron is a great player, and I think top five small forward is definitely where he should be.
Okay. All right. I can see that. I see that. All right. Well, that's good, man. I just want to get thoughts on that, man, because like I said, I know what I think and how I feel about him. I just wanted to see what what your thoughts were and your
Yeah,
opinion. So
yeah,
yeah, thanks for sharing that, bro. Because there's a lot of similar. I can agree with you on a lot of things that you said about him. I mean,
yeah,
the competition factor, the competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? The quitting and
yeah.
the uber talented abilities that he has. He just.
Yes.
I agree with you on that. I mean, he's
And he's made up for some of those things he did early
he
in his
did. Yeah,
career.
yeah,
He made up,
yeah.
and that's why I give him his respect. He made up
Yeah.
for it, but those other guys didn't have to make up for it. They were doing that from day one.
Day
You know
one.
what I mean? So that's the difference.
They didn't put themselves in a situation where they had to make up for something. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So, all right. Well, that settles that. Now,
You better deep breath. You better take a sigh.
here we go. We're going back to football.
Right. Not for long though.
We're going back to football, and I want
Well,
because I know what I got to say. What I'm
no, no.
about to
I,
say.
I I want you to give me your argument of why the New England Patriots are America's team. I'm all ears.
Okay. Well, first of all, the word patriot, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that word mean?
The word patriot,
Yeah. What do you think that word means?
somebody that is loyal to their, I guess their nationality, or
Their country.
to their country. Yeah.
Right. Okay, somebody who takes pride and who fully defends against against whatever goes against their country.
Okay.
Somebody who takes pride in their country. Somebody who represents their country to the fullest of their abilities and will do whatever it takes to maintain their country's uh,
Yes.
you know living conditions. All right, so that's what the word patriots mean. Patriots can also mean, when it comes to being sports related, it can mean wins, right?
Can be what?
It can mean wins. When you talk about winning, I mean that's what the New England Patriots do, right? They win championships. Am I right?
I'm listening.
All right. Well, I'm asking you. Answer the question. They win championships, right?
They're a winning franchise now. Yeah. In recent years.
Okay. Well, I mean, they win championships. They've gone to, I believe, out of 11 years or 11 or 10 years, they've gone to. I'm sorry, forget 10 years. Let's do 20 years. So the New England Patriots have been to I want to say 10 Super Bowls or 9 Super Bowls in 20 years, right? In 2000. Okay. All they do is win games. All right.
I mean, it's
Now,
not. It's shy of 10, but go ahead.
okay,
It's
shy
eight.
of 10.
Yeah.
8. Okay. So wait, you're saying they went to 8 Super Bowls
Yeah.
in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
I beg to differ. They went to 9
No, they've won six and
and
lost.
lost 3.
Oh no, no, you're right. They've gone to nine because they lost
Yeah.
three. Yeah. They
Yeah.
lost three. Yeah.
So they've gone to 9 Super Bowls in 20 seasons and won 6 of them and could have won another 2 of them,
Okay.
all right, against the New York Giants. Now, the New England Patriots, they're from the 13, they're originally a part of the 13 colonies, which is the New England area, right?
Okay.
Massachusetts is one of them, Delaware, right? New Hampshire. So, you follow me here?
I'm listening to you. I'm
Okay.
definitely
All right.
listening to you.
All right. America was founded on 13 original colonies, right? And the state of Massachusetts was one of them, correct?
Yes. So was
Okay.
12
Yeah.
others.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But it wasn't anywhere even. That's when the West wasn't even settled yet by the time the 13 colonies was established. So,
Exactly.
right. So America was founded, or I'm sorry, Massachusetts was one of the founding states in the original American colonies. Now, back to football with that again in that comparison. The New England Patriots are based and nestled in that in one of the 13 colonies, and all they do is win. They win Super Bowls, they win championships, they win titles, they win division titles, they win conference titles. They win, and they're called the New England Patriots. Okay, they're
Okay.
not. If I were to say, there's a team out there that's America's team, I would go with the New England Patriots. I'm not a New England Patriots fan. You know that. So I
I
would go
know
with the
that.
New England Patriots as America's team
Well, I mean,
because,
you're not going to sit up here and make an argument for the Vikings being America's team. So you finally got a team that you could throw at the Cowboys, or you think
well,
you
yeah.
can. And
Well,
so,
no, the Vikings aren't America's team, but they're North America's team.
oh my goodness,
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
this is a debacle. This is getting
No,
ridiculous now.
this is no. It's not a debacle. Listen, the Minnesota Vikings are the Middle America's team. I'm gonna put it to you like that.
Let's stick with the Patriots, please,
Yeah, let's stick with
please,
the Patriots. But yeah,
because you're about
not get
to
off the subject.
really ruin your argument.
Yeah, no. Well, let's not get off subject here. The New
Who has
England
never won the
Patriots.
Su- you just made your argument that New England Patriots are America's team because of winning, and then you mentioned the Vikings who have never won. So
Okay.
let's
Well,
move on
no.
from that one.
Technically, well, we have one now. We're top six in all time wins since 1960. By the
No,
way.
we're talking about championships. That's
Okay.
what you're
Well,
talking
exactly.
about.
That's what and you're right. Well, let's talk about championships. So the New England Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have a combined 6 Super Bowl championships. Right? They've gone to 9. They could have won 2. All right, legitly, they could have won
Yes,
2, 1 or 2 plays. They could have won another 2. So essentially, they could have had. I
but
don't
they
know what.
didn't. But they didn't.
You're
They
right. You're
lost
right.
it.
You're right. Absolutely, I give you that. It didn't. So
Because I could do the same thing with the Cowboys in the '70s. They could have legit. The Cowboys could have gone if you want to go that way. We could have gone to the first 2 Super Bowls.
okay, yeah, you could. You're right, but
You know what I mean? They
that's
didn't though.
semantics. That's semantics. We're not gonna deal in that. This is
Right.
what this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just make it nice and cut and dry. The bottom line is the New England Patriots should be the team that's America's team because they're number one. Their name are called the Patriots. They're a part of the original 13 colonies, and they win a lot of Super Bowls, and they have a great All-American quarterback, and they have a head coach who's who came up through the ranks in such a patriot way. So my argument is, why is Dallas, okay, Dallas
Hmm.
America's team? Why? So you
Okay.
tell me.
Are you done?
I'm done.
That's your argument.
That's my argument.
Okay. Like I said, this shouldn't take long. Um, Let me ask you something. How long have the Patriots, as you say, been a franchise?
Since 1960, I believe.
You're correct. Guess who else became a franchise that year?
The Dallas Texans.
The Dallas Cowboys. All right. The
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys Football Club. All right.
Okay.
So both teams started in 1960.
All right.
Now you're sitting here talking to me about winning. First of all, let's just start like this. Why did the Dallas Cowboys? Why were they called America's team?
All right. I
Okay.
don't know why. So I'm waiting on you to tell me.
Okay. It was not because of winning and all these other things. Winning was a part of it, absolutely, but that was not the reason why they were called America's team. So,
Okay.
first of all, 1960 was when these two teams started, and the Cowboys, neither one of them were good for that first decade. You know, it wasn't until the '70s the Cowboys really started, having some success.
All
Now, this is what happened. If you remember, or not remember, but you know that John F. Kennedy was killed in Dallas,
right. Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Well, funny, I mean, not funny, but shockingly enough, the country blamed the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
So they were hated for years, like in the late '60s. I mean, after Kennedy was killed, they were hated for a few seasons, like a few years. They had to even cancel their game, a couple of their games after the president was killed because it was they were supposed to play the Browns, I believe, and
Hmm.
um and they were just hated. So everywhere they went, they had to deal with this for years.
Huh?
And another thing that came up and got popular, started to become popular in the '60s, was something called television.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and Tex Schramm was the GM of the Cowboys at that time. And prior to becoming the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, he worked for a television station. Okay,
Hmm.
and because of his history or his influence or his experience with television at the start of this phenomenon, new phenomenon, television,
Hmm.
he was able to take advantage of his contacts with television to make the Dallas Cowboys one of the first teams that was actually seen on television a lot. So any change, whereas a lot of teams were not running and jumping to get to to play on TV. You know what I mean? To be seen on TV.
Hmm.
Whereas with his contacts, he used them and was able to get them on television first. So after a while, being people, right, being in your face, being on TV constantly,
Hmm.
it caused a lot of people who had hated this team, because of what happened with Kennedy and everything. A lot of them started to like this team and root for this team because they started playing well. They got better in the
Hmm.
early '70s and finally did win their first Super Bowl.
All right.
At this time, were the Patriots winning?
No, the Patriots were losing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Just stop there. Um, because I noticed your argument was winning. Okay,
Okay.
but so the reason why the Cowboys became America's team is because of television for one, and the
Hmm.
fact that they were on it. Another thing was the '60s was a tumultuous time in this country, right?
Right.
The civil
So
rights
yeah,
movement, all
yeah,
of that
yeah.
was going on, right?
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys was an equal opportunity team, one of the
Hmm.
first. So people started in this country started seeing the Dallas Cowboys as kind of like the cutting edge, like leading the way, kind of. Whether it was
Hmm.
true or not, that's the perception. That was the perception. You know, it was true to a certain extent, and even more than a certain extent, because let's break it down. The first team to glamorize cheerleaders was the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
The first team to build a state of the art stadium called Texas Stadium at the time, back then, and all the other teams followed suit, were the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
First team to have the television deal where they're on television all the time, more than all the other teams in the league, were the Dallas Cowboys. And what happened after that? The rest of the league started getting, you know, started getting their opportunity. When when they wanted to see who wanted to play on Thanksgiving, Tex Schramm said, raised his hand and said, "Hey, we'll do it." Nobody else wanted to do it. So, still this day, who plays on Thanksgiving Day? The Cowboys. I know they've added some extra games, but growing up, you always knew you were going to see the Cowboys, right?
Hmm.
Thanksgiving Day. And because of this television, it caused the Cowboys to have fans all over the country, which now has grown to all over the world. So that's why when the Cowboys are good, bad,
Hmm.
or whatever, they still can generate high ratings. Still to this day, it hasn't changed.
Okay.
No, wait, let me continue some
Go
more.
ahead. Go ahead.
The first team to use computers to draft players. Guess who was that? The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
The system that we see today as the draft started with the Dallas Cowboys, where people are
Really?
using, yes. It was
Okay.
a they got a it was a I believe he was Japanese or Chinese. I can't remember. He was an Asian guy, and he was a computer wizard. And Tech Schramm hired him, brought him on to the Cowboys to use this computer back then to for the computer to figure out who was the best player to draft.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. How does that make them America's team?
Hold up. I'm making my point. Listen, I just said because of all of this, you have fans all over the country, the entire country, not
Hmm.
just in Dallas, but all over the country. Still to this day, hasn't changed.
Hmm.
The Dallas Cowboys have always led the way for the NFL, and I'm giving you all of these things of what they led.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. So
you see
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Okay. I
Listen,
got you.
listen, listen. So did it change when Jerry Jones and them took over? Absolutely not. Who still built the biggest state of the art stadium? Now everybody else is clamoring to do the same thing. The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Um, if you go onto the Minnesota Vikings website, and if you go onto the Redskins or the Patriots or any of these other teams in the NFL's website,
Hmm.
the first team to have that type of a website, guess what? Guess who it was? The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Jerry Jones helped ushered in the whole internet. Do you remember a few years ago? It was Robert Kraft who was arguing against it too about the players. There was an argument about the players tweeting and all this stuff and using social media,
Hmm.
and they wanted to kind of ban social media. And Jerry was for it, for the play. He said because it helped promote the league more in this day and age, which he was correct.
Okay.
Okay, it was Jerry Jones who came in and said, "Okay, we're gonna start marketing to." This is why he's in the hall. We're gonna start marketing our brand. I'm gonna market the Cowboys brand outside of our collective bargaining agreement, and it was a big problem when he first did it. But now, guess what? All these other teams, it's that's the way of life now in the NFL. You know, you can
Yeah.
market your brand. They led the way. The Cowboys have always led the way, and still to this day, they're the most hated and the most loved team. See,
Well,
wait,
go
let me
ahead. Go
finish. Let
ahead.
me
Because
finish.
because go ahead.
Listen,
Go ahead.
listen, listen,
I got
listen.
too much to say too. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Today, the Patriots are winning, but they didn't start winning until 2002. Since 1960, the most winningest team in the 70s was the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't win the most Super Bowls, the Steelers did. And the Steelers are the team of the decade. But the most winningest team in the 1970s were the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
In order for Montana and the 49ers to start their reign in the 80s, they had to defeat the Dallas Cowboys, who went to the first three NFC championships in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That was the end of their era until, of course, the following decade in the 90s, where they were the decade. They were the team of the decade with the
Uh-huh.
triplets, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we're talking from 60 all the way to 2000, where they have made their mark as America's team. Still to this day, the highest rating comes from the Cowboys. People watch them. Why? Because people either hate them or they love them. With the
Okay.
Patriots, is not the team that people hate and don't like. It's actually two figures on the Patriots: Belichick and Tom Brady. And like I said, once again, when those guys are gone and the Patriots aren't winning any longer, or if they're not winning any longer, nobody's going to care anymore. When we were
Okay.
growing up, the Patriots weren't winning. They went to the Super Bowl against the Bears and got, just blasted,
Uh-huh.
but they weren't a winning team.
Okay.
No,
And
but they weren't considered. You know what I mean? So if you make your argument as far as winning, then yeah, recently they've been winning with
well, that's
one group though, with one era, with one
that's
quarterback.
what I'm saying. I mean, longevity does help, but at the same time, I mean, the I'm talking about relevancy as far as
Wait,
if
wait, the Cowboys aren't relevant?
no, they listen,
Why do
they
you
are.
think Stephen A. Smith and them Stephen A. he uses the Cowboys to get more ratings?
Yeah, I
That's
know.
why and Skip Bayless uses it the opposite way. He acts like he's a fan of the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys are talked about still, regardless of the Patriots in this era. As the Patriots winning, I can't take
But,
that away from them.
yeah, I mean,
They are the team of this era, this decade,
they're
whatever you want to call
America's
them,
team, Russ. They're
huh?
American. They
No,
the
no, no. Listen, listen,
Cowboys
listen,
are
listen,
irrelevant.
listen, listen, listen.
Listen, no, no, hold on. You said your piece.
No,
Listen,
no,
you
I mean,
said
I'm not done. I'm not done. I let
okay.
you
All right, go
hold
ahead,
up
go ahead.
because it's so much there's no way you can, like I said, you're trying to define America's team by the Patriots being one of the 13 colonies. That's not why the Cowboys became America's team. That's not
Well, I
why they were
listen,
named America. It's not like the Cowboys named themselves America's team. It was the media that did that.
America's team.
Yeah, the
Who?
media did that. It was
Oh,
a
so
it
okay.
was a sports
Tell you what,
guy, a sports personality. I forgot his name now.
well,
Um
the Cowboys should be called America's social media team. That's what
no,
they
no,
should.
no, 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 no. They were America's team before social media.
No,
That's you can't make that argument. It's false. And the whole thing is the Cowboys have there's no other team that you can find that have fans in every football city that you go to. Every football city.
okay.
Everywhere. They have why
I
is
can
that?
guarantee you, Russ.
Why is that?
I can guarantee you that if you go to Dallas, there's Patriots bars in there, and there's Patriots
No,
fans,
no.
just like
I've been to Dallas. And that's one thing you can't there in Texas. You talking about Texas?
I'm
You
talking about
realize
Texas.
you realize you're talking about Texas, where
I realize that.
listen.
I
It's
can
not
guarantee.
like being here in Washington, where you got fans from all over. Because once again, another reason Washington right here, and they were the last to integrate. You
Yes,
know,
I know.
they
Integrate.
and because of that, you're representing Chocolate City, and you're the last to integrate. Well, guess what? All of the people in DC said they were going to do. We'll root for the Dallas Cowboys. That's why you have so many Dallas Cowboy fans in DC. But
I know.
you,
Which
there's
is
the Patriots do not have fans like the Cowboys do all over. The only team that the Steelers, they have their fan base travel with them. They
travel.
travel to to these areas, but they don't live in those areas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I like the Cowboys still lead the way in everything. In everything, nothing has changed there. So they're not America's team necessarily because of maybe football and
Well,
or
that's what
what's going on the field.
it can't be American team.
They're America's team for the overall of the league. I mean, they are America's team, and
No,
that's not going
they're
to change. The
not,
rating,
bro.
if
Well,
you go and look at
if
the
you ain't
hold up,
winning nothing, you can't be America's team. You
then why do
can't
people
be
still watch them? Why do people still
because
watch them more than any other
they're a
team?
drama queen. They're a drama team.
Come
That's what
on,
Jerry Jones,
no.
dude.
Regardless
Jerry
of what
Jones
you
is your
say,
general manager in the owner.
they were doing that before Jerry Jones got
Plus,
there.
plus,
They were
Jerry
doing
Jones
that
is
long before Jerry Jones ever
Jerry
became a
Jones
owner
picks
of
the
the
players.
Cowboys.
The
Huh?
owner picks the players. Are you kidding me? Really? The
What
owner
does
is
that hold up? Wait. What does that have to do with being
because
America's team?
Dallas has not been
That's a
anything since they
that's a
won their last
terrible
Super Bowl in
that's a terrible
1995.
example.
How can it be? Listen, my
Has
point.
nothing
Here's
to
my
do with being America's team. You haven't proven anything. That, I mean,
so,
saying that the Patriots were part of the 13 colonies.
yes,
So
because
were the
if
Philadelphia.
when
So was
somebody says
Philadelphia.
America's team, that's what I think about. America. I'm not thinking about social media or advertising.
95 of their
America.
percent of their fan base is in New England.
It doesn't matter. It's America. I'm talking about America.
New England is the
This is
only.
America. I'm thinking
So New England has become America.
New England was a part of America. The
No,
original.
so New England is just America. That's it, because all of
No,
the
it's
fans are
not.
there.
No, that's not what I'm saying. New
So how
England's
are
not
they
just
America's
America
team? How do they represent America when
because they win.
they don't have the
Win.
fan base
And
all over America?
it doesn't matter. They ain't got to have fan. They can have fan base just in the state of Boston. It doesn't matter. They're a football team, so
So
they're winning.
doesn't that tell you something though, that these guys are winning, but yet still the Cowboys are the team that gets the most ratings?
Because
What does
they
that
got
tell
the
you?
most drama. They got the most drama. That's why. I
So
mean, they have.
how can the Patriots be America's team when they still can't even doing all this winning, but yet they're not getting all of the ratings?
You know
They get a
why? You
lot
know,
of ratings,
have
but not.
drama. They don't have drama. That's why.
The
That's why, bro.
Patriots don't have drama. Spygate. I mean, do
That's not
inflate,
drama.
deflate gate. Are you serious?
That's not drama. Here's what I
And wait
mean.
a minute. And most of the drama you talking about happens with every team in the league. It's just that because the Cowboys are America's team, anything that goes on in Dallas is going to be on the NFL Network or ESPN.
And
The
it was
media
it was
boosts that stuff up.
it was for what you just mentioned too about the Patriot, about the Spygate thing and the Deflate Gate. It was
Yeah.
that was very. I mean, hell, people's grandmothers know about that stuff
Yeah, because
because
it was drama,
they
and that's the
when you
media. That's what they do. The media blows things up, and even with that, like I think they blew that up even more than it needed to be. But that's what they do. But that's the same thing I'm saying they do with the Cowboys. So for you to say drama, it's like, well, you just believe in what they say.
was having drama ever since since the 80s when when the whole when you guys caught lightning in a bottle when when Minnesota did you guys a favor and took Herschel
You
Walker,
did us a favor. No, you guys made a stupid trade,
which
a
was a
stupid
favor.
move. No, it wasn't a favor. You guys did it thinking that you were doing yourselves a favor.
Right, I know,
That
but
was genius. That was genius on our part to do
it
that.
absolutely was. That's what I'm saying, and I give you credit for that. Your Cowboys did a very
So
intelligent.
so tell me the things that the Patriots, other than just winning in 2002 and since then, have done to make themselves America's team. You still haven't given me that argument. I just named like a bunch of things of why the Cowboys still lead the way. They still lead the way of everything.
All right, all right.
The rest of the teams in the league, all of the teams, including the Patriots, follow the Cowboys'
Let me
example.
just tell you. Let me just tell you why I believe that. When you say the word or the phrase America's team, I think about winning. I think about productivity.
But
I think
that's
about
you. That's your
that.
opinion. I just told you the history on
I know.
why
I
the
don't want
facts,
the history.
not no opinions,
Want
not what I
success.
think,
I
but the
want success
facts.
in the field.
But that's what you want. But before we were born, they were called America's team. You
Yeah,
see
but
what I'm saying? So
they no
you
longer
can't
should be called.
you can't redefine it, and especially when the things that made them call them America's team has not changed.
I know, but listen,
Wait, no,
they shouldn't be called America's team anymore because
wait.
they're
Why? I
relevant.
just said nothing has changed. The things that made them call them America's team has not changed. The fact that they were on TV back in the days where they're still put on TV, and look how many like I'm a Cowboys fan and I live in Washington, and don't have to worry about how, like, okay, for instance, how many Vikings games did you get to see last year?
All of them.
No, I'm saying, if you were, how did you get to see them? Did you go to like sports bars, or did you have
No,
the NFL package?
I have the package.
Okay, you had the package. So
Yeah.
if you didn't have the pack, I didn't have the package last year, and I got to see just about every game last year of the Cowboys,
And why? Why did you get to see all those games?
because they're America's team and they get the
No, they're not.
ratings.
No, they're
Just
not.
like,
That's
wait
not
a
it.
minute, what do you
Reason why
wait?
they got to see you got to see
Wait.
those games because they're in the NFC conference, the NFC East. That's why, and they're
No,
playing
that's
a
not
team that
true.
you're in
That's not
Washington.
true.
You get
That's not true.
you get NFC
That's not
games, Russ.
true. I'm
You
talking about Sunday night games, Monday night games. Go look and see how many games the Cowboys were on television. Plus, you got to count Thanksgiving. I'm talking about nationally televised games. I'm not talking about being in the NFC East. That's a horrible example right there.
no, it's
Those
not. That
you're
if
giving,
I'm,
no. It is a
you're talking
horrible example because
you're
it's
talking about
I'm talking about
Sunday
national
night.
televised games.
I'm talking about
Sunday
weekend.
night games, Monday night games,
Okay.
where the entire nation gets to see it. Why do you think they program those? They program the Cowboys in there. because people like to watch him. Whether they like the, it's like Floyd Mayweather. You're gonna buy a ticket. You're gonna watch his
Watch
fights. Either
thing
watch
with
him
the
lose
Patriots.
or to
Same
watch
thing
him
with
win.
the Patriots. Same thing with
No,
the Patriots. Same deal.
but only because of Brady and Belichick, not because of
Okay.
the Patriots.
When
They're
Tony
not gonna
Romo
be.
was there,
No,
I
look,
wanted to
they're
see
not.
Tony Romo lose.
Wait, no. But because he was a cowboy, that's the difference.
No,
They
because he was Tony Romo and people didn't like the
No,
way he.
you're delusional for this. Like
Come on, Russ.
you're not being realistic now
I am being
because you
realistic. That's why.
If Romo was a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, nobody would even cared about Romo.
I know. Listen.
No,
What I'm
no,
saying.
wait. If you know, then you know why they cared because he was a cowboy.
He
That's
was
why.
and
That's
and,
why.
and people never
That's
liked
why.
Tony from
No,
the
no, no.
get go.
Because he was a. That's not true. Tony Romo, when he first took over for the Cowboys, um, people loved him because he took over for Drew Brees. I mean, not Drew Brees. Drew Bledsoe. He took over for Drew Bledsoe, and he was young, exciting. People liked him. When they turned on him was when he fumbled the ball in Seattle, and the media turned it into like Tony Romo blew the game, which in reality was not really true because this is the guy that just drove us down the field to put us in position to win the game.
Well, listen.
So the fumbling of the ball, I think it was overrated, overblown, just like Deflate Gate and all those other things. I feel was overrated, and they get those attention because of Tom Brady and Belichick.
Exactly.
Tom
So
Brady and
what
Belichick,
you're saying,
not the Patriots,
oh my God, listen.
not the Patriots.
How is it not the Patriots though? How? When you take it when you say
Are
New
you
England
not listening? I know you don't want to accept it, but if you're not,
I know.
are
I
you
just don't
listening?
believe.
Like I
Don't believe
just
it's
said,
America's team.
people are against Brady and Belichick. When all that stuff went on, they were saying Belichick's a cheater, Brady's a
So
cheater.
you don't.
They
You,
weren't saying
let
they
me
weren't.
ask,
It wasn't about the Patriots. It was about those guys.
let me
That's who it
ask you a
was
question.
about.
Let me ask you a question. So when you think, all right, let's say Brady and Belichick is no longer playing with the Patriots. If the
Yeah.
Patriots are playing on TV, you don't think things other people are going to root against them because simply because they're the Patriots and they've built a sort of a same thing similar to what you said
For
about.
maybe like a year, and if they go down to playing to losing, and they just become a losing team or whatever, nobody's gonna even care.
Well,
Trust
we
me.
don't know. We
We'll
can't
see.
say that.
We will find out very soon because if they're Brady, if once Brady and Belichick are gone, and the first year where teams are starting to beat the Patriots, all they're gonna say is, well, Brady's gone and Belichick's gone. The Cowboys, Nate Newton. I remember Nate Newton said the year when the Bears were in '85, right? The
Hmm.
Cowboys were horrible. They were like one of the worst teams in the league that year.
Hmm.
And the Bears beat, I mean, I think it was a Monday night game, and they destroyed us.
Hmm.
They destroyed us. And this is a 15-1 team that did that to us. That was headed to the Super Bowl, and we weren't even smelling playoffs that year. And they asked, and Nate Newton went up to them at the end of the game to Mike Singletary and them was like, man, that was, and he was like, oh, we get up for the Cowboys no matter what. Every team, it's still like that to this day. When teams beat the Cowboys, it's like a celebration. Even when they're not good, even when they're not good, and it's true. It's true. Even when they're not good,
Okay, so
people love to see the Cowboys lose, and they're not America's team necessarily about the winning. They're America's team because of the reasons I said. They've always led, and they're still leading the way for the league,
they're
for
America's
the
most hated.
NFL, and loved. There's no in between. There is no middle ground there. Either you love them or you hate them.
Okay, so they're America's loved team by the Cowboys fans and hated team by the rest of the world.
Yes, I would definitely say that, and that's what makes them watched. That's why they get the ratings they get.
Okay,
That's
so
why they
I
get the. That's why the media. Do you realize like why these shows, like first take and all of them, why they spend so much time discussing the Cowboys? Because people tune in. People want to hear the Cowboys. The people that hate, I mean not Skip Bayless. The people that hate the Cowboys, they want to hear Stephen A. come in there and blast the Cowboys. They love that. That's why he does that. He don't hate the Cowboys like that. Real, for real. He does that because he knows it's gonna bring ratings and attention. Because Cowboy fans see it and be like, "Man, what is Stephen A. talking about?" Then you get the fans that hate the Cowboys. They come and they want to hear him do that. They like it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not about the so much about the fact that the winning part of it, because they got a winning tradition. They've got 5 Super Bowls. They've got 5 Super Bowls, and they stay and they have an opportunity to go get another one. You know, but the Patriots are they started winning in 2002. They've been around since 1960. So if you want to make the winning argument, then that's very kind of it's not stretched out winning. It's not consistent winning. They've only won with Brady in them.
They've won over the course of
Wait,
2 decades,
But with Belichick and Brady.
but it doesn't matter. They're
No,
winning.
no. Wait, it does matter when I can say, um, a whole different. Those guys that were winning in the '70s weren't playing in the '90s or the '80s for the
Okay.
Cowboys. You know what I mean? They weren't playing.
All right.
They weren't playing. Um, it's a different. It's continued. Now, have they won Super Bowls since the '90s? Of course, people will say no, they haven't. But and the Patriots, like I said, they were losing for a long. They've lost more in their history than they've won, but they've turned it around as of recent because of the Super Bowls that they've won. But before that, they were a losing franchise.
Listen, Russ.
They were
Here's my.
hold up. They were a losing franchise. That's facts. That's facts. Everything I'm
I mean,
saying is facts.
pri-
It's not
prior,
no
prior,
opinion.
prior to Brady and Belichick, they went to 2 Super Bowls, right? And lost both, right?
Yes.
Okay. So a losing franchise. You know what? You know what a losing franchise is?
The Vikings.
No, I know you're gonna. I know you're gonna say that. Like the
Wait.
Buffalo Bills.
How are the Vikings not a losing franchise?
Listen, because we don't listen. A losing franchise is the Cleveland Browns. That's a losing franchise.
The Browns have championships in their franchise history.
No, they don't have any Super Bowls. That's what I'm
They have
talking about.
championships though.
I know, but they
Just
don't
because
have any.
just because the name was changed, they were winning championships with Jim Brown in
I
them.
mean, yeah, dog. The Vikings won a championship back in the '60s against the Browns. Did you know that?
Yes.
All right, so that's irrelevant. I don't count that. That's like
So
me saying, "Oh yeah, we have a championship. It's back in the '60s." No, it's we're talking about Super Bowl since the merger.
yeah, but the thing is though, when we start talking about teams, the Vikings were never a team of the decade. First of all, the Browns were the team of the decade in the '50s.
Dog, Russ, we're going.
Absolutely, the team of the decade. They dominated that decade of football. That's
I know.
facts. That's
Listen,
facts. The Vikings never done that. Never done
Russ,
that.
listen to what I'm saying.
Patriots never done that until 2000.
Listen to what I'm saying. I don't. The Vikings were established in 1960, just like the Patriots, just like the Cowboys were, right?
Yes.
So, so basically, what I'm trying to tell you is,
And you guys were pretty. You guys have a better winning. I can't say better winning because the Patriots have stacked up championships. But in the '70s, you guys were a winning team.
absolutely, even in the '80s, in portions of the '80s, we were. We've
Portions
been
of the '80s, right?
we're one of the we're in the top six of the winningest franchises in NFL history.
I
I'm gonna
can
tell you,
believe that. I can believe that.
right. So my point is, it's not about oh yeah, who's the most losingest franchise. I just told you the
Just
Cleveland.
like it's not about the most winningest either.
I mean, but
When we're discussing America's team, because
America's
that's not
yeah, they
that
are
was
so
not why they were called America's team, and nobody else, no other team falls under those categories. Nobody.
okay. So
Nobody
I
can say,
tell
man,
you what.
we got fans in every state, every city where they play football. We've got a boatload of fans that can come to the game and you can hear them on Sunday.
Okay.
Nobody can say that. The
All
Steelers,
right.
the Patriots can't say that.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, and this is like you said, this is just my opinion. I'm saying that I don't think they should be called America's team because they haven't been winningly irrelevant for
But that's
over
not the
better part of 25 years.
criteria. You're trying to change the criteria of why they were called America's team. There's a
I'm not.
history behind. Hold up,
I'm
wait.
just saying.
There's a
I'm not going to
history be.
acknowledge them as America's team.
But hold
Right?
up. That's fine. You don't have to. But the thing is, that be regardless if you acknowledge it or not, it's still facts. What I'm saying, the history of them being called America's team, there was a criteria of
And
why they were
that's
called that,
fine.
and
That's
hold up, and because they were called that, that's the criteria. If you want to unseat them, then you have to take over that criteria. You can't redefine it and say,
okay.
well,
I,
that's like people saying LeBron's the GOAT. You know what I mean? You can't do
I'm
that.
not. I'm not saying that I'm trying to change the criteria. I'm just saying that again. I'm not acknowledging them as America's team because they haven't been relevant for over 26 years, and I think they're just full of drama. That's why people,
You're
love to cover.
thinking, but it's not facts. That's your opinion.
I know, but I'm not talking about that. What
But they've
it's
been covered. They've
it's
been
the show.
covered since you.
Look,
They've been
Russ,
covered since the '60s, dog. I mean, like,
Russ,
how can you?
it's
How
a
they've
based
been
show.
covered like that? They've been covered like that since the invention of television. Since
I know,
television and football merged and became, and that's what made football
Thomas.
one of the greatest sports, or the top
Prophet,
sport in
prophet,
America.
prophet. Listen to me. I'm not trying to change the narrative of what it was back in the '60s. All I'm saying is, me personally
But
will
the narrative
never.
hasn't changed though. No, I
I,
said I got you personally, but it's based off of more of the fact that the Cowboys are America's team, and that hatred makes you say, I don't want to acknowledge it.
I
You know
just
what I
don't.
mean?
I
That's
think
what
it's
it is.
appalling to call them the America's team because I just don't think America's team is what I think it's like. I don't think when you say when somebody says America's team to me, I'm thinking champions, winners. You
Okay,
understand
we
what I'm
have
saying?
5 Super Bowls. What are you talking
And
about?
they have six.
What does
You
that
understand?
mean? That does not mean because you have, but you see
I'm
the
just
the
I'm
but
counteracting what
but
you
they
said.
don't
You said
but they don't
they have
represent but
six.
they don't represent the entire United States. That's a difference. Like I said, you don't have another team that you can say that. You're saying they but they, like I said, 95% of their fans are in New England. You go to a Miami Dolphins game or the Jets game or the Bills game in Buffalo, in Miami, in New York, and nobody is going to have a huge fan base of Patriot fans there. They're still going to be booing the Patriots. It's going to be quiet because the Patriots are going to be blowing them out. That's what it is. It's not
Well,
like that with the
that's what.
Cowboys.
All right.
Sorry. I
Well, I
mean,
tell you.
I'm giving you facts.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm giving you my opinion, which is that this show is based
Right.
on opinion. So my opinion is
But on
that
this argument, it got to be facts.
okay. Yeah, you're whatever the stats you gave me, the information you gave me were facts, and that's fine. I hear you. I got you that. Grant you that. However, to me, I'm gonna say this one more time. To me, the Cowboys shouldn't be known as America's team because they're
Based
not
off of your opinion.
they're not winners. They're not winning any games.
Based on
They're,
your opinion.
based on my opinion, yes, they shouldn't be called America's team at this point because they're not winners. They don't win games. The Patriots been winning over a better part of 20 years. You know what I mean? And and again, they're to call the
and
Patriots.
still can't fill none of those criterias. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like,
Okay, but
it's
again,
based
that's
off
what
of hate. Like I said, it's based off of
it's
hate.
not.
And
I don't hate
you
the
no.
Cowboys. I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, I
You do
don't.
hate the
I do
Cowboys.
not. No,
I
no,
mean, there's no way when you ignore a fact, you purposely ignore facts
no. Listen,
just
Russ.
to hold on
I hate the
to
fact that
hold on.
people are saying they are America's team. It's
But
ridiculous.
why? Why?
It's ridiculous. I think when you say America's team, you're supposed to be talking about winners.
No, no,
I mean,
no,
period.
no, no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. People follow winners, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so the whole league, including the Patriots, follow the Cowboys. What are you talking about? Like, they're the cutting edge. They're the ones that still set the trends. Still to this day. Whether
no
they're winning or losing. What do you
drama.
mean no?
They
What do
got
you
their
mean no?
who draft the
I'm
players. Okay,
it's no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're
they got
talking
their
about
running back
facts.
lifting
We're
up
talking about
girls'
facts.
skirts on riverboats.
The
You know what I'm saying?
most
They got the
first
quarterback
of all,
turning
the
down
most wealthiest,
thousand dollars.
all that winning, and you're still not even close to being one of the most wealthiest franchises in not just football franchises, sport franchise. That
All
means
right.
all the soccer teams around the world, or football, if you want to call it that, all the American football teams, all the basketball teams, all the baseball teams, whatever, hockey, whatever you want to name, there is no other team more successful than the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. Well,
They're not even just
media
America's
wise,
team
media
anymore. They're the world team.
media wise, they're successful
They're the
media wise.
no, that's not true. We're talking about
Marketing.
money. I'm talking about
Jerry Jones.
money.
Jerry Jones is a genius. He's a genius.
Wait. Before Jerry Jones even dreamed of buying the Dallas Cowboys, they were that. He just
Listen,
continued it. He just
I,
continued it.
I know. Listen, listen. What I'm saying. Why I'm saying he's a genius. He's a
From
genius.
1960 to
Are you gonna listen?
2019, the
Listen to me.
Cowboys are still
Jerry
leading the
Jerry
way.
Jones. Jerry Jones is a genius because he found a way to get people to come to his stadium and pay to watch television. Okay, he's a genius. I mean,
And
when
that's
you go
why
to
they're America's team.
when you
That's
get
why
that,
he made them America's team.
that's
And,
why
and he didn't even make them America's team. He just continued what was already started by Tex Schramm
okay.
and the original Dallas Cowboys.
He's a genius because he gets you to go to his stadium to watch TV, which means that you're paying all this exorbitant amount of money to go to a huge stadium with a bunch of people and sit down and watch the big screen. That's what you. I mean, you don't even watch the Cowboys. You don't even look at the field action. You look at the freaking 60-yard long jumbotron.
Boy, that hate is strong. You
No,
mad at the
no,
you mad at
it's
the
not hate,
jumbotron?
bro.
You mad at
It's
the
ridiculous.
jumbo?
I'm just saying, it's ridiculous.
I
It's
mean,
asinine.
I think your hatred is proving my point all the way
No,
through
it's
and through
not. Why you keep
for the
saying hate
Cowboys
that? Cowboys? I don't
because
care about that.
it is
It's
hatred.
not
It
hate.
is.
Not hate, bro. It's not. It's
You're
simply
you're you're ignoring the obvious just
all
to
I'm
hold on
saying.
to that.
I'm not Russ, I'm not discrediting the fact that you said Americans. You gave me the reason why they were American team, and that's fine. I accept it. All I'm saying is, I personally am not going to acknowledge them as that because they don't.
Okay, so if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year, right?
Uh huh.
Then you acknowledge it.
I'll acknowledge that they won the Super Bowl. I mean,
Okay,
Super
that
Bowl
would be
does
six.
not
That would be six. That would be
America's team
six.
make.
Your argument was six. The Patriots got so that would be six.
That'll be six. Yeah, but
So then
that's
they get it. They get it
if
back. Then they're America's team again.
if
Come on,
it
man.
ends with pots and pans, we'd be in the kitchen somewhere cooking.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's the only thing I've said so far as an opinion that they could win, and that's just just ask you because I'm trying to figure out your logic on the Americas team thing. You said they
Well,
got six championships, so okay, so if we win the Super Bowl next year, we have six championships. Does that make us America's team again in your eyes?
no, no, it doesn't. It doesn't because you're not winning
Okay, so
consistent.
let's say we win the next two, then will it make it? We'll have seven then. Will that make it?
Seven then? No, it'll be you'll be the Dallas Cowboys, two-time Super Bowl champions in the last I don't know what 20
So
years.
the other five don't count then. So
You listen,
then you're gonna
listen,
go to the
when
then you're gonna
all
go
right. So
to the
let me ask you
narrative.
this.
Then you hold up. Then you're gonna go to the narrative and say, oh well, you only won two in the last. So
No, no, no. I'm not gonna say that. No, no, no.
from going hold up. So
No,
instead of saying you guys haven't won since '96 or '95 or whatever, then you'll say, well, you guys only won one or two, but that's present day, right? That would be present day.
no. Listen, sustainable success
Sounds like
for
hatred to me.
20 years. Sustainable success for 20 years does
Wait a
make
minute. Wait a minute. Sustainable success for 20 years.
yes. That's what the
So
Patriots.
so so Tom Landry's reign from 1960 to 1988. That
Okay.
doesn't count.
It does. It does count.
Okay.
It counts. But I mean, again, I'm saying that they should no longer, in my opinion, no longer be called America's team.
Based
I'm not saying
based
that they weren't. Hold on,
based on
hold
what? Based on
hold on,
what though?
hold on. I'm not saying that they wasn't America's team. I'm just saying
Well, if they was, then what has changed?
they don't win.
But
They're not winning.
that's not why they were called America's team from the get go.
I know. But if you're asking me why they're called America's team, or why I don't think they should be called America's team. Because when you say America's team, I think winning. I think prestige. I think
The
consist.
Cowboys aren't prestigious.
I think consistent winning and sustained success. That's what I think. And I
Let
don't
me
think
tell you
I,
something. Once what you'll see, like the profit will come. You'll see when Tom Brady's career is over and Bill Belichick's career is over and the Patriots are struggling. Cause and it's not saying that it's a guarantee that they'll struggle unless they hit it big and get a quarterback. But generally, teams like that. Let's look. I mean, the Steelers struggled like crazy in the '80s after the '70s. The
they did.
49ers struggled like crazy in the '90s. They lost it in the '90s, and in the next decade they struggled ridiculously and still are struggling.
I
So
mean, hey,
after Montana, the
the fact,
Cowboys after the '90s they struggled in the early 2000s and still just trying to get it back, right? So
the
it's not like I'm saying something far fetched when
no,
a guy like Tom Brady leaves that the Patriots are just going to pick up and just keep it rolling. I don't think so.
I'm not,
I think they're
I,
going to struggle, and I think
they
they're going
are
to become irrelevant again. They're going to become
okay.
irrelevant because Brady's not there. Belichick's not there. The attention there won't be a reason to keep the attention there because they're not America's team.
Well, okay.
They're the most winningest team in the last 20 years. That
Which
hands
I would
down, hands
again,
down.
yeah, no doubt. Again, I would equate that to if someone says, "Well, who's if I tell you what, if somebody from Bangladesh came to America and says, "Who's America's best football team? America's team." Who are you going to say? The Cowboys? No, you're going to say
Yeah,
the
they
Patriots.
would. No, no, no. They would say the Cowboys. They might not even know who the Patriots are. They'll say the Cowboys. There's
Uh,
people, and I'm not. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Like I listen to the different Cowboy their little podcasts that they have going on their website and stuff. There's people calling in from all over the world. Like seriously, like there's people I've heard calling from all over Europe, all over Africa. They call in from overseas. I don't know if there people on the Patriots talk radio or talk podcast are getting people calling in from other countries.
well, I mean, exactly. We don't know that though, Russ. We don't.
I can pretty bet I bet money on it that they don't.
Okay, well, I mean, that's again like that's for another show. You know what I
They're
mean? To get
calling
the
in from they're calling in from Boston.
well, I would hope so. I mean,
They're
you know,
calling in from Boston. That's it.
I would hope so. I would hope to call in from Boston, and
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sure that.
not America's team. They're a great team and a great. It's been a great run, but that run's gonna end.
Okay, well, I mean, y'all run ended
It,
25.
it's think about it. It didn't end. It's still going. That's why we're discussing this. You know what I mean? It's still going. Now it's just like if you look at the basketball scene. The Warriors, if their era is over, they're gonna go down. And once those guys, this is not the same team anymore. Nobody's gonna care. They're not. They're not one of. They're still not one of the leading franchises in the NBA history. Who are the leading franchises in NBA history? The Lakers and the Celtics.
Like,
Still to this day, the NBA wants to see that again because
now hold on. Now, what's the I guess well you just named those two franchises.
yes,
What do they do best? What do they do best? Win, right?
not all the time. No, have the Lakers been winning lately?
No, they haven't.
Okay. So it's
But
the same thing. You see what I mean? But because of them being the Lakers, it's no different than the Yankees. If the Yankees are losing, they're still the Yankees. People are happy to
I,
talk about the Yankees. They're happy to root
I know
against them.
we're not
It
we're
and the
not calling the
Cowboys
Yankees America's team.
are one of those teams though. Yeah,
We're not
because
calling
they
it.
yeah, but they have the same mystique, is what I'm saying. The same thing that the Cowboys have. Regardless, it's not about the players that's on the Yankees. It's about the Yankees. What I'm trying to tell you is, it's not about the Patriots. It's about Brady and Belichick. It's a difference.
No, no.
It's
I
not about the
disagree.
players that are wearing the Lakers jersey or the Celtics jersey. It's about those franchises. It's not about the Patriots franchise. You'll see. I mean, you don't want to accept it, but it's the truth. Like
I
it's
disagree.
Brady.
I think
The
Patriots.
focus is Brady and Belichick.
I understand what you're saying about the Cowboys with their mystique and all that, but I'm telling you right now, when the Patriots, when Belichick and Brady's era is done, people are
Nobody's gonna
still
care.
Patriots. Yes, they are. You know why? Because they're the Patriots, and they used to win so much, and they're so-called the cheaters and all that. All that stuff is going to be attached to the core of people hating them. I'm
Yes,
telling
like the younger group will for a few years, and then guess what? Just like everything is only hot for a minute in this era, because especially in this area, once they start losing people, all these people who talk about they talk about the Patriots, they're not gonna talk about them no more. They're gonna be done. But you know who they'll always talk about? The Cowboys. They
you.
will. They'll still be talking
Well,
about the Cowboys and hating on them or rooting for them. One or the other. They're still gonna be talking about the Cowboys.
we'll gracefully agree to disagree.
But we will
Um,
find out in a few years because Brady will be gone soon,
yes,
and I believe Belichick will leave with him.
I believe so too. But again, we'll agree to disagree. I think that what I think you got where you got your facts. So
And once again, the Cowboys are still America's team. It hasn't changed. This conversation has
yeah,
not changed that.
So you it
It
hasn't changed.
it hasn't. It's still the same. I
In
mean,
your mind, it hasn't changed. In your
no, no,
mind,
no. In everybody's mind, that's everybody knows this.
you can't. I mean,
The,
how, you don't know that.
the
You know that.
things that made them America's team in the past has not changed.
No,
They're still
listen,
leading the way in all categories. They're still
that's
leading
a
the way.
that's,
Still to this day, the cheerleaders are still the same. All of those things are still the same.
okay. I mean, every other team has cheerleaders. I mean,
Not only yeah, but none of them have movies made of them. Nobody the prestigiousness of being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader still stands out above any other.
so prestigious about being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. What do they do?
So wait a minute. Are you denying that? So the
Yeah,
Vikings cheerleaders have a movie.
cheerleader's a cheerleader.
The
I mean,
Vikings cheerleaders have a movie. See, you're definitely a hate. You're definitely hating.
this is hate, dude. I don't. Again, I don't care about the Cowboy. I don't care.
Once again, I'm giving you facts. Like that's not a. I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan. That's the truth.
Here's what
Everybody
I'm.
knows that about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Here's,
Whether you don't like it that they give them so much credit or they talk so much about them or they're
listen,
such a big deal, it's a fact that everybody knows that. Nobody knows about the Patriots cheerleaders or cares
no,
about
but
them.
I'm saying,
No, the
listen,
Patriots
everybody
don't
can
have
know about
none
the
of those
Patriots
things.
cheerleader if you just televise it. I mean, who cares? Who cares? It's
Why
cheerleaders.
don't they? Why don't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay,
Why didn't they
fine.
make a movie about them? Why did they make a
Because they don't
movie
care
about the
about no
Cowboy
cheerleaders. They care about
cheerleaders?
winning. They want to win. That's what they care about. They don't care about cheerleaders. They
Yeah,
want to win.
but it wasn't the Cowboys franchise that made the movie.
Okay,
You
who
see
made the
what I
movie?
mean?
Who made the movie?
Hollywood.
Hollywood? Really?
Why did they want
Hollywood?
to make the movie about the Cowboy
Come on.
cheerleaders?
Not
Why do you think?
really, Russ? Come on.
Because of the ratings. They were the first ones. I told you that already. They were the first ones that put their cheerleaders and made it they made it a show. They made it a performance. Before that, nobody was doing
Cheer,
that.
cheer,
So
cheer.
when you see your Vikings cheerleaders come out there, thank the Dallas Cowboys because that's
I
where
don't
it
look at them.
started from.
I don't look at the cheerleaders. I look at the game, Russ.
But you
It's
see them,
simple and plain.
you see them, and you know they're out there. I'm not
Cheerleaders.
saying that I don't watch the game for the cheerleaders, and you know that. I watch the game to watch football.
Exactly.
But I'm just making the point of why they get the
Listen,
attention that they do.
I know
It just is.
I
It just
acknowledge your
is.
point. I hear your point. What I'm saying is, to me,
But
that's a
I'm trying
moot.
to hear yours, and it doesn't make any sense.
To me, that's a moot point because who cares about the cheerleaders? I mean, hell, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have cheerleaders because they don't care about no cheerleaders. They win Super Bowls. They got six. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So,
so and we got five,
so the
and we got five,
cheerleaders.
and we got five.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying is I'm talking about winning. That's what I mean.
Yeah, five.
The Pittsburgh, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are more of America's team than you guys are right now.
They don't
You know
have
what I mean?
fans. They don't. That's why they have to have fans travel from Pittsburgh to each game because they don't have fans in those other places.
Right. You don't think
Period.
there's Pittsburgh fans
Wait
in
a minute.
Dallas?
America's made up of how many states?
53.
Okay, we're in all of them. Wherever they play football, you'll find a huge Not a few, not a couple. I'm not saying that you won't find a needle in a haystack in maybe Dallas where you find that one Steeler fan or the one Redskin fan. I'm talking about majority. It's just like in this area in Washington, there's a lot of fans from other teams. It's normal.
Is it the
That's not normal in Dallas. That's not
the-
normal
the-
in Dallas.
listen? This is a very transient city, Washington D.C. This area, people move in and out of here all the time. They don't
True.
settle.
True. True.
So
But do you realize the history of Dallas? That's what Dallas was. Everybody went there to make. It was a big money place. It was a place where they were striking oil. A lot of people traveled there too. It's the same
yeah,
thing. It's not the only Washington is not. There's other reasons too why Washington's like that. You know, some of the things we mentioned about the Wizards too. But what I'm saying is no other team. You still can't give me one team, including the Patriots, that can say we have fans in every single city you play football, and we have a large contingent where you can hear us on Sunday if we go to the game. You can
well,
hear us.
that's certainly not happening in Minneapolis. That's not happening in Minneapolis. You go if I've been to Cowboys. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh my
I've,
goodness,
I've
I've watched the games where Cowboy fans were there
yeah, no, they were there, but they was
in
drowned.
Minnesota
I know there. Of course, there's fans everywhere. What I'm saying is, Towers don't do that in Minnesota. You know why? Because it's Minneapolis. Nobody wants to go to Minnesota. That's what I'm saying.
because of
That's why.
the cold.
Yes.
No. But I'm not saying that. You see, you're missing it. I said the Steeler fans travel. I'm not talking about fans that I'm talking about they live there. There's Cowboys contingency in every football city in the league. Period.
Okay.
Period. No other team can boast that, and that's America.
We'll
That's
agree.
America.
We'll agree to disagree. Because I'm not gonna you know give up on my point. That's just
I obviously see that, but
and,
it's a
and
very mute point.
it's very
It's based.
hurtful.
It's just based off of hate and opinions. That's
And that's
it.
the thing. It's very hurtful and disappointing for my partner here to call me a hater and I'm a can't stand
No.
them.
I don't think you're like a hater. I just think that just like everybody, like I said, you either fall. You're just proving what I said. You either fall in two categories. So you have two hosts on this show. One loves the Cowboys. One hates them. So that's what I said. There's no
Oh,
middle ground. So I don't think it's like, hey, I just think it's the Cowboys. You know what I mean? I think it's America's team, and either you're gonna hate them or you're gonna love them. Period.
I just don't.
There's
I
no
don't.
middle ground.
There is a middle ground. The middle ground is I don't care about them, but I
Yeah,
just
you
don't
do. Yeah,
see
you do.
where this.
That's why
Uh,
it bothers you that they called America's team. So you do care about them.
no, I don't care. That's my point. I don't care. So I don't, you know what I care about when
You
you
do.
say, you know what I care about? I care about the team that wins. That's America's team. A constant team that wins constantly. To me,
No,
that's
they. But how's constant from 2002 to 2019?
that's 2 decades basically. That's 20 years, bro.
Okay, same guys though. Same Brady, same player.
I know, but are you gonna fault them for being having longevity?
No, I'm not gonna fault him. I'm just saying when you're talking about consistent, to me, consistent means in different eras, different teams, constant where you can say, hey, I won in this decade. We were winning in this decade. Totally different teams, but this is the
Well, I mean,
same. These are the same guys.
listen, the Cowboys was not very good in the 80s. We can agree to that, right?
Yeah, they were well. They went to the first three, like I said, NFC championships to start the '80s, and then
Mhm.
they kind of the 49ers took over, and then they went down. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
But not for the. But they weren't. But they were never irrelevant.
right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's
Even when they win or lose, they're never irrelevant. There's what team can say that
okay, fine. Yeah, and I'll give you that. You guys are relevant. Which when somebody says America's team, I'm not thinking Cowboys.
they're relevant because they're America's team.
I'm Russ. I'm just telling you. For me personally, I'm being like
I
this is.
got that. I definitely know that. I mean, I know that.
I'm saying when somebody says America's team, I'm not thinking Cowboys. I'm thinking Patriots right off the bat. right off the bat. You know what I mean? Because
I mean, you and everybody else in
they're
Boston.
named, they're called the Patriots.
You and
They're
everybody else in Boston.
okay, and that's fine. They're
But
called.
The NFL and everybody else, when they think
Think
about the
about
America's team, you can't tell me your mind doesn't think about the Cowboys. Period.
it doesn't.
You
It doesn't.
saying that, but that's false
The only time my
because
mind thinks about it, my only time my mind thinks about it is when somebody says, "Well, the Cowboys are America's team." That's my only time. Other than that, I'm thinking Patriots.
nah, when you hear America's team, you make it a point to say the Patriots because of the Cowboys. That's
No,
why.
no,
That's
no.
why.
And I look. I'll go to my grave saying it. If anybody says, "Yo, who's America's team?" Hey, I'm the Patriots because they're the Patriots. Their name the Patriots. They have a logo. Who's a
They were
human being?
named the Patriots since 1960. They weren't America's team. And then
No,
that's the worst argument
talk
I've
about.
ever heard.
Listen.
Because Patriots, the name Patriots. They
No,
were the Patriots
what?
before that when they were
You're
losing all
missing
the
my
time.
point. You're missing my Russ. You're missing my point. My point is re- nowadays. I'm not talking about back in the '60s. I'm talking about
No, I'm
yes,
not either. I'm talking about the 80s and then and the 90s before Bill Parcells went there and
okay,
saved that debacle of a franchise. You know what
okay.
I
That's
mean?
listen. When I think about when somebody says who's America's team, since the Patriots has
Since
been on
2002.
yeah, since they've been on this dynastic rampage, right?
Hmm.
To me, they're America's team because of that. You know what I'm saying? I know the Cowboys were America's team. I don't
No,
think.
they are. They still are.
Okay, well, I mean, again, we agree to
I
disagree.
mean, just this July, what was it? July 4th. The NFL Network was running all day long. America's team, and guess who they were showing? I didn't see a Patriot on the screen.
Okay, well, that's I mean, again, that's media. That's advertising. That's you
That's
guys.
the NFL's network.
I know. Listen, that's the
Are the
NFL.
Patriots in the NFL?
Yes.
So
Listen.
The NFL doesn't feel that they are America's team. You do, but the
Yes.
NFL
Yes, I do.
said
Yeah.
July 4th on the independence of America. Even though the Patriots were one of the 13 colonies, they said we're gonna show America's team all day, America's team marathon, and not one of those games was the Patriots.
Yeah. You're right. So yes, I'm agreeing with you. I think Patriots are America's team.
Right there, you go.
All right.
I agree.
So I
I
mean,
agree with that.
that's simple. I think that. So
I
from
see
now
that.
on, when you say America's team, I'm always gonna think Patriots. All right. Just so you know.
That's fine, but I know why you're thinking that because you don't want to accept the Cowboys. So in
Yeah.
essence, you're still gonna always be thinking about the Cowboys.
No, I'm not. Come on, man. No, I don't care about. Again, I don't care about the Cowboys. The only time I'm thinking about the Cowboys is when we play them this year in
I
Dallas.
think you're just in denial. I mean, I understand.
Okay, I
I
mean,
understand.
again, your opinion is you think I'm in denial. My
I
opinion
mean,
is they don't
I
belong.
understand that the hatred that people have for the Cowboys. So I get it. You know,
Uh,
when you're America's team, and it's
Well,
like that. That's what happens. But
that argument was longer than we anticipated. I believe.
that was I knew that one was gonna be. I knew that one was gonna be a heated one
Yeah,
because
because you're adamant and you're strong on your opinion about the Cowboys being
no,
America's
no facts.
team. You're strong about your opinion about me, and I'm strong about my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts. I don't. I mean, it's obviously like I said. I mean, just July 4th, a whole day of on the Independence Day of the United States of America,
mhm.
America's
And
team
America team
marathon,
running to the
and
Cowboys,
not
right?
nobody thought about the Patriots.
Okay, all right. I'll have to. By the way, I'll gotta check those records. By the way, I'll look that up
Which records?
about them showing nothing but Cowboys
No,
on the.
no, that's what it was. It was like July 4th, the whole day. They ran a America's team marathon. It was the Dallas Cowboys the whole day. July
Oh, okay.
4th.
All right.
This
I'll,
year.
I'll check on that.
Just a month ago.
I'll check on that.
I mean, you can check the TV guide. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll check on that.
I
I'll
mean,
go back.
it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, we like I said, we can agree to disagree. That's what makes this a great show, and I can't wait to
Yes.
Our
Yes.
next, what's going to be our next topic, Russ?
Um, I don't know. What should we go? Do we did the we got to do college basketball. We
Man.
did college football, but we know what we didn't. We'll still have more time for basketball too,
Yeah, yeah. No,
because
that's a,
like you said, we're gonna do the predictions
oh,
for.
this is what we forgot, man. Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah, yeah, Antonio Brown.
You
Well,
know what?
what do you
Save it for tomorrow.
you want to save it? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's save it.
let's save it for tomorrow because I got
This is our longest episode so far.
yeah, exactly. So let's save it for tomorrow. We'll do Antonio Brown tomorrow. We'll start off with him tomorrow, and then we'll kind of bounce around on different topics. Mostly, I would say
Yeah,
most football because it's football
that's the
season.
time. That's the time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll go ahead and we'll touch on some of that. We'll even discuss some preseason games that we might have saw a little bit of, and but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, let's discuss some of these, early preseason games, and certain we can discuss like players more because that's really what
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in the preseason, discuss some of the play of some of these rookies, and even some of the rookies that we picked to
yeah.
win. I mean, your boy Devin Bush, he did his thing too in that
Yeah,
first
yeah.
game.
Even yeah, exactly. So let's touch on those bounce around with that tomorrow. But let's start off with Antonio Brown tomorrow because I have my opinion, quote unquote, on you know how things are unfolding with AB.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it before, but yeah, I can. I don't think we're gonna disagree too much on that one.
Yeah, I got a feeling that yeah, because the way things are happening with that boy,
Yeah,
I don't. So.
I can't defend him any longer. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
but
pretty much. Pretty
yeah.
much. But we'll touch more on it tomorrow, man. We'll start it off with that. So
All right.
it was great combo today, cuz you know what I mean.
Yes.
Just walk
Yes.
up. You brought it strong. You brought it hard. So did I, and we agree to disagree. And love the show, man. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it moving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll get
Thanks to everybody for tuning in,
yes, yes, sir.
and keep checking us out, and let us know what you guys would like for us to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that we definitely some opinions would be more than welcome. So,
Absolutely.
all right, guys. All right,
All
Russ.
right. All right.
Talk. Peace.
Peace.